Harris, he's going by Saquon Barkley.
Is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Last year for Penn State, a school record 13 wins before the loss to Notre Dame that Gary mentioned. And here come the Nittany Lions. Down to Jenny Dale with James Franklin. Jenny.
Coach, year 12, game 1, higher expectations than ever. What mindset do you want this team as they step on the field?
Yeah, I just want them to play one play at a time, play the way we're capable of playing. We get better each week. We'll like where we're at the end of the season. Got a ton of respect for this head coach and his program. We're going to need to play well today.
You're returning 14 starters. How do you use that continuity to get out to a fast start?
Yeah, talent and experience matters and counts. We got a bunch of those guys, but that's in the past. We got to do it today.
Enjoy it, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Coach Franklin, 101 wins, 125 overall in his 15 seasons as a head coach. On the other side, Jim Choate trying to put this program back together, just his second year as the head coach at Nevada.
And I think what Coach Choate said about this game is if we're going to play one of these, I'd rather start off with it and rather have it in the middle of the season. I think he likes where it's at.
Gotta love the weather, I can tell you that. For the last day of August, it is beautiful. It's football weather, 70 degrees and sunshine as we are set to kick off a full season of Big Ten football on CBS. Penn State won the toss, and they will take the football. So Drew Aller, with helmet in hand, will get ready to go to work.
From that last play, pass by Aller against Notre Dame, the hard work in between, I'll bet nobody's more happy to start a season than Drew Aller.
Joe McFadden will tee it up. 3 straight 10-plus win seasons for Penn State. As I mentioned, 13-3 last year. And there's the dynamic duo of Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. This is the highest ranking coming into a season for Penn State since 1997, when they were ranked #1. And who knows, depending on their performance today, they might be #1 next week. Or maybe Ohio State will be, but it won't be Texas. After a 14-7 loss by the Longhorns in Columbus. I stand corrected on who won the toss. Nevada to receive. So Gabe Orsu to kick off. Now we're underway at Happy Valley. And a fair catch called for and taken around the 5-yard line. That'll bring out the Wolfpack. The guy we talked about, Chubba Purdy. At his third school, Florida State and Nebraska. One start last season due to injury. And as Gary said, he feels as healthy as he's ever been, and that's good news for Nevada.
Plays a little differently than his brother does. Not that Brock is not a good athlete, but I really think that, Chubba's got a little bit more explosiveness when he runs the ball.
He's one of the top dual threat quarterbacks coming out of high school several years ago.
All right, the officials got to get warmed up here. Now they put the ball on the wrong yard line. All right, they got it now. They had it on the 20 for a while.
Now we got it all set. Herschel Turner in the backfield with Purdy on first down for the Wolfpack. He'll get the carry. And Turner picked up about 3. So we take a look at the offensive lineup for the Wolfpack. And it all starts at their center spot. Andrew Majrigo making his 34th straight start. The anchor at the center spot. Turner and Woods will be the backs. Jace Henry, he was really playing well until he got hurt in the 4th game of the season last year. They're happy to have him back and healthy. One of the best inline blockers in the Mountain West. Empty backfield now, 2nd down and 8. Purdy throws complete. Maybe a little bit short of the 1st down. Bring up 3rd down at about 2. Marcus Bellin on the reception.
Watch this, an easy little out route to the outside. One of the things that Nevada would like to do in this football game, although if you watch them all, you might see them use more up-tempo. Not in this game. They would like to make slow 1st downs.
They were pretty good on 3rd down a year ago, 45%. They got a 3rd down and short here on their opening drive.
This is where you want to see how aggressive will they use Chubba Purdy in the running game here.
2 tight ends and a pistol set on 3rd down and 2. Keep it on the ground at Turner, and he's got the 1st down.
Nice movement up front by that offensive line. 2 returning seniors up front. Brad talked about the center, but also Josh Kabrowski, number 54. Good job, just enough to get that kind of like the academy 1st down, right?
Yeah.
Make it by a yard, keep the ball, keep the clock running. That's the way that this game would like to go if you're Coach Choate for Nevada.
So opening possession, Herschel Turner picks up the 1st down. Probably their biggest transfer portal acquisition coming in from Utah State. And this time he's going to be dropped for a loss of a yard. As we take a look at the defensive lineup, one of the guys in on that stop, Gary talked about him, denied Dennis Sutton with Ford, Durant, and Fisher. The linebacking core, as always, a good one. DeLuca, the 3-time captain, with Campbell and Rojas, and on the back end, A.J. Harris developing into one of the best corners in the Big Ten.
Yeah, a little surprise here for Penn State with Collins, number 2, winning that starting job. Talked to Penn State people. The other corner had a great camp, and he earned it.
2nd down, 11. Purdy, the quick sidearm toss to the outside and a screen, and almost busting through there. It was Marcus Bellin again. He did get out to the 40-yard line.
One of the coaching points when you throw these quick screens here to make it almost a running play is you got to get it quick to him with pace. Otherwise, those inside linebackers will eat it up. Nice job there. Quick release, almost like a second baseman, but get it to him with a hard throw. You can't lob that ball.
Another 3rd down, this one longer though. 3rd down at 6.
What is Jim Knowles, defensive coordinator? What does he do? He's got a 3-man look, but only one guy down in the stands.
Trips to this near side. It's a quarterback draw all the way, and Purdy showing the wheels of the 1st down.
Yeah, I thought we might get the run on the last 3rd down play, but not surprised right here. With that look, quarterback draw is always one of those plays. Let's see how many guys they bring on this play. There's only 1 man and a 3-man stunt. They brought 4, but from different directions. That's the way college football is played right now. Put about 7 guys up there, and you don't know which 4 are coming. Good job by the Nevada's offensive line to pick it up, and you can see what Purdy brings to the offense.
Picked up 7 yards to get the 1st down. In his one start last year against Hawaii, he was their leading rusher with 41 on the ground. Kai Woods now in behind him. On 1st and 10. Play action. Purdy rolls, got away from Dennis Sutton, and he drills a shot.
Nice play.
And a 1st down to Jet Carpenter, the 2nd tight end.
That's one of the transfer from Eastern Washington coming from the opposite side there. I thought he was going to give the ball to the fullback right away, but when you come back and relocate, that's a tight throw.
Man.
Could have been a problem if A.J. Harris would have seen it, but a well-thrown ball. This is a naked. They're letting Sutton run free at the quarterback, but he turns and throws it perfectly again.
Good looking opening drive.
Yes, it is. It's going to take at least 5 or 6 minutes off the clock as well.
They said they'd see a lot of 12 personnel for the Wolfpack, and they got 2 tight ends in there again. On the ground, cut back, Woods, and the ball came out and is covered by, I thought it was covered by the Wolfpack, but it's picked up by Harris. A.J. Harris has got it for Penn State.
You're right. I thought a couple guys for Nevada had a chance for that football that time. I thought Josh Gabrowski, number 54, had it, but it bounced right off his chest. Oh, put the helmet right on the football. That's what you work on all the time.
Then it got punched.
Out. Yeah, punched out by Sutton. Excuse me. Dennis Sutton comes from the backside and punches it out, and it's a mad scramble.
Then it looked like the Wolfpack had it there.
Yeah, I thought it was Gabrowski, but he didn't get it.
A.J. Harris did. Penn State with a turnover. They were great in that capacity a year ago. They've got the first one of the season right here.
Behind every DIY
is more help than you think.
Try this for a clean line.
Nice.
Sometimes help is delivered. And some things have just got to go.
Don't worry, these will go quick. I wonder if I can link 2 ropes together. Perfect.
Because do it yourself
Doesn't have to mean
All by yourself.
what are you working on?
When Verizon gives you a free phone on any plan,
Gemini, show me the concealer.
you use AI a lot.
the long, thin tube in the middle.
Yes, boyfriend of the year.
Did we say a lot? We meant a lot.
Gemini, is my houseplant leaning away because it hates me?
Nothing personal. It's leaning away for more sunlight.
Come here, girl. Gemini, any pointers on my downward dog?
We get it. It's a Google Pixel 10 Pro from Verizon.
Oh, appreciate you.
The salt on that Dos Equis could have ended up in a half-empty pantry. But now, it's lucky enough to find itself circling a crisp, refreshing dressed Dos Equis. Congratulations, Salt.
Subway's footlongs are packed with protein, like the Ultimate BMT or the All-Pro Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki with 58 grams of protein. And now, Subway MVP Rewards members can buy any footlong in the app and get 40% off. Fuel up now in the Subway app.
This school, it's become a monument to mediocrity. You can all level up under the right amount of pressure. You could put the most powerful suit to ever come out of Godolphin.
More powerful than Homelander. Cypher believes I'm this weapon. Let's at least use it to do something good. This plan is crazy and I hate it, but I'm in.
Boston Blue is a brand new chapter where the story of Danny Reagan will continue.
I say Boston, you say Blue.
Boston Blue premieres Friday, October 17th, part of CBS Premiere Week.
Penn State with the fumble recovery takes over on offense now for the first time this year. 9:46 to go in the first quarter. Drew Aller at the controls at quarterback for Penn State from the 31, and it's Nick Singleton off the left side, and Nick goes for about 4. One more time, take a look at that defensive play that popped the ball loose. Denied Dennis Sutton. Punch! It right out of there.
I know, and it was like Dennis Sutton really wasn't pursuing that hard. The guy kind of backed up into him. And then if you go to a practice nowadays on any of these teams, it started in the NFL, but it's all over college football. They all practice that punch out from behind.
He had 2 forced fumbles and 1 recovery a year ago. He's got a gem here, a forced fumble in the first quarter. Aller, quick throw to the outside, complete the first down. And it's one of the brand new wide receivers.
Yeah, let's just be quiet here, Brad. The fans will enjoy that pass out to the wide receiver. These are really sophisticated fans here.
Kyron Hudson came over from USC with his first catch in the navy and white.
Somewhat of a Bronx cheer. Yes, that's what we need.
Well, last year they relied on number 44 to get him 104 receptions. That was Tyler Warren. And they didn't get that much from their wide receiver core, but they've got 3 transfers in here they're really high on. He's one of them. Here's an end around. There's another one. Pena, and he's got a first down. And he comes courtesy of Syracuse.
Well, when you start putting an offense together, remember at Penn State this year, everything is measured by winning a national championship. But you can tell on his first drive, Andy Kolnicki is establishing everything about this offense.
Yep. Andy admitted to us, he said, man, I got stars. I got to keep all of them happy, including his quarterback. First down. They worked it to the 39-yard line. Aller, quick throw to the right, complete. It's Hudson again. Drew, his 30th start, 23-6. Last year, 30 total touchdowns, 8 interceptions. His completion gear downfield got bigger. A couple years ago, it was dink and dunk, and we kept saying, you know, when is he going to rip it and let it loose? And last year they started to do that. Nick Dawkins, the captain at center. And there's the new receivers, all highlighted for you. Ross, Pena, Hudson.
Yeah, here goes those 6 offensive linemen in the game right here. Part of the package. That's how they mass shift.
Singleton wide to the left, and he'll get it down to the 30. Going to be about a yard shy of the first down. As you take a look at the Nevada defense, it's trying to slow down this opening march by Penn State. Thomas Whitty, Gary mentioned him. He's one of the captains, a 6th-year former walk-on. Combs and Smith, the linebackers in the back end for the Wolfpack. Kenyon coming in. He's a transfer, and they made him a captain, so a lot of respect for him in his first year in Reno. 3rd down and a yard. Penn State last year about 46% of their 3rd down conversions. They go quick snap. Nick Singleton goes quick first down.
Yeah, I didn't think the Wolfpack were ready for that quick snap right there. I think Penn State has 2 plays together here. They're going to go quick again.
Empty backfield this time. Aller, the throw to the outside is Singleton. And he's got it down near the 21-yard line.
So remember, those 2 plays are called. We're going to run a quick ISO play right for the first down. And when we make it, we're coming back with a quick pass to the outside.
Yeah, they weren't even in their stance.
Nope. And Cooper Collins was in the game as an extra offensive lineman, and he had to stay in the game.
Now 2nd down and 5. There's the mix of run and pass on this opening drive that's taken 3.5 minutes so far. And now Katron Allen checks in at tailback. Hudson, the motion man. Aller looks to the right, now comes back, and he'll tuck it and run. Diving forward is going to be about a yard shy of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. Whitty in on the tackle.
A lot of talk this year about how Drew Aller has lost a little weight, went in the weight room, stepped quicker, but you know what it's going to be like, right? It's going to come down to a 2-minute drill in these big football games. Make those key throws, make those 3rd down throws. You got to have the whole package, but to win it all, you got to make those key clutch throws.
Extra lineman in for Penn State, and Allen spins his way for the first down and almost popped it out the backside, got to the 11. Cooper Wilson holding on for dear life. For number 13 might have taken that to the house.
Katron Allen reminds me of a player I played with at the Cleveland Browns, Ernest Biner. He's the heart and soul, the physical presence of this football team. And coach, this team knows all about it, and so does the coach right there in the press box, Andy Kolnicki. He says these 2 guys, they're different, but they're the heart and soul of our physical game.
And they're best friends, they're roommates. They're both in there together right now, but it's Katron split out as a wide receiver, now comes in motion. They fake it to him, and Aller to the end zone, broken up. Intended for Hudson. There was some traffic in there.
Surprised he didn't go to Luke Reynolds on the other side of the field. Thought the tight end was wide open on the play. Let's see where this throw hit for Hudson. He made that great catches in traffic, a little bit behind him, and he couldn't handle it. I thought the big tight end was where he needed to go on that play, and he saw that it was close.
Yeah, Luke thought the same thing that you did. 2nd down and 10 at the 11. Allen, Singleton, both in there. It's Katron Allen down to the 6. And looks like Penn State's going to go hurry up again. They need to get to the 1-yard line or the end zone. 3rd down and 5. Drew Aller. He got to the 1. 1st and goal. Tough run. Had to go through Whittier. Tried to.
He did put his shoulder down. You said it. He got it, and he got it by inches. Take one more peek. Anything go down first? Didn't look like it, did it? They always check to see if a knee goes down before the ball goes down.
He's going to have to readjust his play calling sheet on his wristband because that popped out too. 1st and goal. 13th play of the drive coming up. Singleton. Touchdown, Penn State. Nick Singleton on the board.
I think they called it no touchdown.
Whoa.
They might look for a review here. Because let's see how this played out. Singleton gets hit, gets stood up, falls back. Oh, I think he's in.
He's in by 2 feet.
We're about 70 yards away, but I think the officials are having a rough start from this game.
I do too.
Yeah, he gets in with second effort here. He backs his way in, and I think for sure, I think even the Nevada fans will say that's a touchdown.
I don't know any farther he can get in.
Exactly.
He couldn't even fall down. He was so far in.
One more step, he'd have been in there far enough to hand it to the back judge.
From up top, Nick Singleton. Gene Steratore is with us, as always. Gino?
Yeah, that's, you know, I always try to look to see where the officials on the goal line are viewing it and see if there's bodies between, and then they're reluctant to make this call. But as you guys clearly said, when he spins and backs in, he's a good yard or two in. I think Gary made a great point. He almost could have handed the ball to the back judge there for the touchdown, fellas.
Good to talk to you, Gene.
Good to have you back with us, buddy. And that massive humanity, as you see, all the Penn State offensive linemen are single a touchdown. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to officially get the touchdown here in a second. Matt Richards is our referee. Jason Boykin is our replay official.
13 plays, a lot of nice things. The only thing that I think James Franklin is going is, really don't want my quarterback taking those hits in the first game of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
After review, the ball carrier crossed the plane to the goal line, resulting in a touchdown, Penn State.
Now we get the official word.
You know, Ness, I'm happy, and all you folks that don't know Brad as well as I do, I wanted it, not anything against Nevada, to be a touchdown, because Brad gets in a bad mood if he's right and they get it wrong. Right, partner?
I wouldn't say a bad mood, more surly.
Frustrated. All right.
Something
Close
like
enough.
that.
Let me call Nancy and see what exactly it is.
Ryan Barker in for the point after. And the kick is up and good. So remember, Nevada had a good drive going. And denied Dennis Sutton, number 33, with that punch that knocked the ball out. A.J. Harris recovered. And then 68 yards and 13 plays later, for the 33rd time, rushing to the end zone is Nick Singleton for the score for the Nittany Lions.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can guest how you guest. Enjoy free breakfast while you work or play. Take on Miami, Mexico City, Minneapolis, or any Holiday Inn Express destination you choose. Follow a great day with a better night's sleep, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. With Holiday Inn Express, part of IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can guest how you guest.
For years, everyone thought Verizon had the best network, because they did. But now the best mobile network in the U.S. is T-Mobile. Some fancy experts finished a network test, and T-Mobile sort of opened a can of whoop-up. T-Mobile's network has the most advanced 5G, with more towers, and their signal reaches further than ever. So you can text and Insta-talk and say, "You won't believe where I am."
Seriously, where am I?
Hey, I got signal.
No. Yes! Woo! Prize Picks lineup is all green, baby!
Yeah, me too, boy. That's how we do it.
We are prediction geniuses!
New users pay $5 and get $50 instantly in site credits. Prize Picks.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the experience of this trainer.
Good to go.
But getting that trainer.
Megan Trainer. I'm all about that brace, no trouble. Give me your arm.
No, it's not for that.
Who are you?
Patrick, I play football.
This is Patrick, everyone. Give it up for Patrick. He does sports.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Why is no one clapping?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Let's go.
Look out!
Crazy day, huh?
Yeah.
NCAA Tony and Ziva, streaming September 4th on Paramount+.
Hit every highlight with CBS Sports HQ, streaming free 24/7. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. You probably saw Jenny about 5 times on HQ already today. And you can catch Gary, by the way, joining the HQ team after our game. 7-0 Penn State at home.
I'm counting down those HQ things like, I'm just going to enjoy them.
You might as well. What do you got to lose? All right, so Gabe Wosu will tee it up. And Kai Woods back deep. Woods camps under it. A couple yards deep, he'll take a knee, and they'll bring it back out to the 25. So good-looking drives by both teams. The problem for the Wolfpack is they dropped theirs on a lost fumble after going 44 yards in 8 plays. And after that fumble, 13-play, 69-yard drive for the touchdown. But on that opening drive, Chubba Purdy looked good.
He did. Good mix of plays. One of the goals here for that is to keep this Penn State defense just guessing. Just keep them guessing what you're doing, what the formation is, where the strength is.
Purdy looks over to Turner and now comes back across the goal. The ball is out. Penn State's got it again to the 6-yard line. And it's Zane Durant, the All-American defensive tackle.
Trying a tight end middle screen, and then right at the end, Chubba Purdy goes, I think this is Zane right here. I think that's him. He tries the tight end middle screen. There's a little thing, and then he tries to get rid of it, and he does not do it very well.
Zane Durant all alone with a reception and the return. So 2 big plays by 2 of their best defensive linemen here in the first quarter. Denied Dennis Sutton with the forced fumble, and now Zane Durant with an interception. Xavier Gilliam is the guy that applied the hit on Purdy, that forced that ball to just aimlessly end up in number 28's hands. First and goal. Quick throw to the outside. And down to the 4 goes Trevor Pena. Haven't seen a lot of this from Penn State, at least we didn't last year. The hurry up, and they're moving. Katron Allen will get the carry. Katron Allen inside the 1.
Yeah, don't you have the feeling right here that they're going to feed Katron Allen for the touchdown?
Yep, they got Singleton his 33rd career rushing touchdown.
They're about to get
same
play.
Number 2, and the ball comes out, and Aller has to cover it back around the 10-yard line.
I mean, that was definitely a hurry up, and it was going to be the same play because Drew Aller was moving the wide receivers out there going, same thing, we're going to stick it in. And all of a sudden the snap was way off.
And a good thing that Drew's 6'5", or that might have ended up in Nevada's defensive hands. So that's going to force a field goal now. Ryan Barker, who was 15 out of 18 a year ago. A 28-yard field goal attempt to try to make it 10-0. Barker's kick up and good. So Penn State adds to its lead. After the interception by number 28, they get a 28-yard field goal. And presented by the Home Depot as we go to our Jenny Dell.
Yeah, out with the old, in with the new. While Penn State was prepping for the Orange Bowl, demolition of Beaver Stadium began. It's a $700 million renovation. Now, capacity still sitting at a tad over 106,000, and that's thanks to the temporary seating on the west side and in the corners. Athletic Director Pat Kraft, he said the structure is safe. It's inspected. It's approved. Guys, phase 1 of construction is complete. Kraft insists nothing will get in the way of what he calls the greatest environment of college sports. And the entire project, it's expected to be finished in time for the 2027 football season.
Thanks, Jenny. Gary and I spent a lot of time in that old booth. Luckily, we haven't completely fallen down ourselves.
Right. Or we're not coughing as much as we used to.
That's true. Yeah. Now it's time to head to Adam Zucker for a Jeep update, New York. Zuck.
Hey, Ness, I hope you like the new booth there. The reigning Big Ten champs are on the board in 2025. Jaden Lamar trying to fill the shoes of Jordan James, going in for an Oregon touchdown against Montana State. We'll see the Ducks next week here on CBS against Oklahoma State. They also visit Happy Valley late in September. Guys, hey.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one, Zuck. That'll be a whiteout here when the Ducks come to town right now. Penn State with a 10-0 lead here in the first quarter. Purdy with a full backfield with him from the 25-yard line. Going to be a little option. He'll keep it. Nice cutback. Got out to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, great read that time, too, because he was reading number 33, denied Dennis Sutton on the play. And Sutton is crashing so hard from the right side on the play. Watch this right here as he comes crashing in on the play. And all of a sudden, that's how you run the option right there.
Dennis Sutton, a long line of those edge guys. Of course, he and Abdul Carter were the twin ends a year ago. Abdul, a New York Giant. First-round draft choice after being the Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Year a season ago. Second down and 6. And the crash continues.
Same Paul this time. This time, Herschel Turner is seeing number 33 come right at him. Chubba Purdy pulls the ball, but there's other defenders on it.
Turner's going to look at Purdy, and if you're going to get me nailed like that, why don't you give me the ball?
Well, either way, he was going to get nailed on that
goodness.
play.
Wow.
Man, that is a fast start from the edge.
He is having a quarter right now.
He and Zane Durant, as good as you will find in college football at defensive tackle and defensive end right there for this defensive line at Penn State.
Here comes a blitz. Sutton's going to be offsides this time.
I don't know if there was other people in the neutral zone on the play, and Nevada reacted.
Offside.
Yeah.
Defense number 33 in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Yeah. Zach Kokenauer, number 76, is on the right side, and he says, oh, no, I'm not letting you have a free run. We only traveled with 3 backs and 3 quarterbacks. I'm not going to let you have a free run here.
Well, they got a chance to catch their breath a little bit because we've played a quarter at Happy Valley. Courtesy of their defense, Penn State in front at home. The Nittany Lions 10, Nevada nothing. Penn State and third down and 5 for the Wolfpack to open the second quarter. Purdy in trouble. Dennis Sutton giving chase. Got to the 30 and knocked down there by Dominique DeLuca. Flag on the play.
The speed on this attack against right tackle Kuchenauer right there, just around the quarter. He bends
Offense
down.
number 55. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a 4th down.
So it's 4th down.
Comes around that corner. You think you got him, but when it does that bend, and it almost looks like he speeds up like a car on a racetrack, turning the corner, just can't handle it by that Nevada offensive line.
So punting time for Bailey Etheridge, 27-year-old freshman punter. I said 27-year-old freshman punter from Australia. Coaches call him Grandpa. The team calls him Uncle. So Unc with his first punt. And it's a good one. Spin move, and a knee went down, I think, by Pena. He's still running, but I thought his knee went down after he spun away from the first defender, the gunner.
I mean, that seemed obvious. It just seems like right now the officials are just struggling to find their.
He is. His elbow's down.
We're struggling to correct ourselves too right now.
Why don't we
did not go down?
Why don't we take a commercial and talk about it, should we?
When you make your dip super creamy with almonds, your new boyfriend can know nothing about football.
Oh, he touched it down.
Bro, that's the other team. And still fit in just fine.
Have you tried the dip? Oh, great fumble.
Great fumble? That's a Hail Mayo.
What does it mean to be rich? It's first steps, and sometimes the last word. Rich is living life your way and having someone who can help you get there. The key to being rich is knowing what counts. Edward Jones.
I'm not really one for the spotlight, but there is some gravy to be had. You know, I always seem to get primo parking. But you don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico. Every customer gets tip-top service with 24/7 fast, friendly claim support.
I never do this, but could I get a picture?
Yeah, it's not like you run into animal celebrities every day.
Stop! It's Doug the Pug! Doug!
I stand corrected.
I literally never do this.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
It's been a fun summer, but back to school is finally here. Make sure you get a free 5G phone and real unlimited data from Straight Talk, so you can show Grandma their new sneakers.
I love you, Mom.
Stream the game at your barbecue.
Guys!
And order some last-minute school supplies while the kids enjoy the last moments of summer. Switch to Straight Talk and spend less on wireless with a free 5G phone on us, on America's most reliable 5G network. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart.
Whoa, nobody inside. I already told your buddies, a lot of violations here. Way too many occupants in a single dwelling, 8 exotic animals. That's 8 too many. And I found a pickup truck in the kitchen.
That's on me.
But I just got here.
Back it up, Brooke.
Take it up with the city, fellas!
10-0 Penn State. Jenny talked with Jeff Choate just moments ago.
Coach, in that first play, you're able to move the ball a little bit, but then 2 turnovers. How do you clean up your play?
Yeah, 2 turnovers and 2 drives. I mean, obviously, you know, the shot on the ball, we had a productive run, and then I didn't love the call. You know, probably a little bit better drive starter. They sniffed out the screen. We're trying to dirt it. Chubb is getting hit as he throws, but I think we're calming down and playing. You know, I was really proud of our defense, the way they made him earn it on the first drive, and then obviously did a nice job of standing up. Like I told you, Penn State's going to make some mistakes too, and so proud of the way our guys are competing in a tough environment. Let's get going.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
I would agree with everything he said right there. First down, Penn State. They did pack up the punt return where his knee went down. A nice throw by Aller out to Pena.
We're going to see what the NFL scouts love about this arm right here. A good cushion this time to the outside. Pena has plenty of room, top of the screen. He's going to get this pass about 12-yard out, but the ball on the throw so nicely put right to the outside. That's where you like to catch it if you're a receiver. High, right on the forehead.
So Pena's made his presence felt already here in the first half, the wide receiver spot. Big Tron Allen got a couple more after that 14-yard pass play. Maldonado in on the stop defensively for the Wolfpack.
The only surprise so far for me in the game, Ness, for Penn State is a little bit more no huddle than I remember from last year. Interesting, right? I mean, what we remember from Master is Ty Warren.
Exactly.
But it seems like a little bit more of an attack with the no huddle so far in this game.
That's Pena in motion on 2nd down and 8. Allen behind Drew Aller, and the pistol set. Blitz coming. Aller getting some heat, and they got to it. Drew will go down.
Yeah, good job by the defense here for Nevada. Nowhere really to go. First throw taken away. Drew Aller's protection is decent to start. And then he's looking around, really nothing. Feels the pressure and then runs right up into the sack, basically.
And Lopati's the guy that knocks him down.
But give that one to the secondary, and as Coach Choate was talking about, likes the way his defense is fighting in this game so far.
Trying to make them earn it. They're going to have to earn this 3rd down. 3rd down and 10.
They're going to get a head start because the reaction by the left tackle that time, Shelton, movement from Maldonado caused a 5-yard gain.
Offside. Defense number 99 in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, I think it was
number 9.
It was Maldonado, not
Witty. It was number 9. Watch him right here, right at the bottom of the screen. He'll move.
There's his takeoff.
Yep, there's the takeoff.
And Witty's still in his stance, so it was 9, not 99.
Yeah.
So a little bit easier, as Gare said. 3rd down and 5.
And also brings into play that they could go 4-down territory now on 3rd and 5.
Going to move the tight end. Katron Allen's going to follow that tight end, and he's got the 1st down.
See, that brought the running play back into the football game, because if you go gain 2 or 3 yards, you can run it on 4th down. From 3rd and 10, you cannot call this play. So it gives you more options to take advantage of when you get it into 3rd and 5. That penalty, a big penalty against Nevada.
No doubt. 1st down, Nittany Lions. As we approach 11.5 to go first half. 10-0. The number 2 team in the country with the lead. Back in Wolfpack territory, the 48-yard line. Now the offensive line shifts. So do the running backs, both Singleton and Katron Allen. This is Nick Singleton with a burst off the right side. Good game. Down around the 41-yard line. This Thursday, escape on the ultimate getaway with NCIS Tony and Ziva. Hunted by hackers and assassins. Good thing espionage is their love language. That's coming up Thursday on Paramount Plus and CBS. Is a throw complete. Downfield to Kyron Hudson.
Great timing on this throw from Drew Aller. As you watch the route to the outside, but now put your eyes right here on the quarterback when he throws that ball, because he anticipates the route and lets the ball go for the completion. I promise you, that's exactly what happened. He just didn't pull the trigger.
I agree with you. A bunch of receivers to the left side, and Aller goes that way and got it down inside the 15 to Pena for a 1st down.
Well, this is like the opposite offense of what Penn State ran a year ago. No huddle, number 1, and no tight end so far, number 2.
Under center is Aller from the 12-yard line, and a whistle stops play.
And Nevada takes a timeout.
Timeout, Nevada. They're first of the half.
Just over 10 minutes remaining in the first half. And as we go to break, there's the pass and the catch Gary was talking about. A 1st down throw. 1st down coming up when we come back.
What you doing, Zach?
My T-Mobile home internet is so good. I wish I could tell the whole world.
Zach, go right ahead.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it? It's just $35 a month, guaranteed for 5 years. 5 years.
I'm switching. Whoa, that's 2.
T-Mobile's got home internet, just $35 a month, and it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Is this for real? Oh, my. To the end zone.
At FanDuel, we know how great it is to celebrate a win. And we want everyone to celebrate this NFL season. That's why we're giving away over $1 million in prizes with FanDuel free-to-play games. So lace up those dancing shoes. Because with FanDuel, you can feel like a winner after every play. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Music up, doors off, shades on. Jeep, this is how summer rolls. Jeep, there's only one.
Right now during the Jeep Make This the Summer event, well-qualified lessees can lease a 2025 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon gas model for $411 a month. Hurry, this great offer ends September 2nd.
With Amica Auto Insurance, it's not just about where you're going, but who you go with. We're customer owned, and we look after what matters most to you. Together. Get your quote today.
I could use an ally, someone I can really trust.
Well, that's me. Honest to a fault.
Matlock returns, part of CBS Premier Week.
Nothing Penn State. Just over 10 to go, second quarter.
Yeah, those last two pass plays. Here's the first connection when Drew did such a good job of getting that ball out on time. Kyron Hudson, the bottom of the screen, running the stop route. Bang, that ball's on the way before Kyron turns around, puts it right on the shoulder. Then they go hurry up. Kind of a fancy play here. Wasn't there. They wanted to go to the tight end down the middle of the time to Dinkins and drop it off to the outside. Good quick thinking, good execution by this Penn State offense.
Now they got a first down at the 12-yard line of Nevada. Two big turnovers, a forced fumble and an interception has helped them to the 10-0 lead. Katron Allen on a sweep and broke a tackle. Allen to the end zone.
That's what I'm talking about.
And kicked the door down.
That power, the way he runs, he just delivers the ball. That was just after he delivered the ball below to the running back. Well, that's interesting because when he reaches the ball out to touch the pylon disappears and he really doesn't touch the pylon.
Our AT&T pylon cam is right there with the defender. And
yeah, they're going to take a peek at
the
this.
The previous play of the runner crossing the goal line is under further video review.
Because he never gets an opportunity to touch it because Hayden McDonald, number 22, is the guy that makes it disappear. If it had been there, I think he would have touched it, but you can't assume. So I'm going to say no touchdown.
I'm going to say touchdown.
All right, good. I like to have the lead. Brad and I are driving back after, and I'll have the lead 1-0. Gene, you want in on this?
Yeah, Gene, you want in on this?
You know, I'm not going to miss an opportunity to judge between you and Brad right now. Opening day, are you kidding me, Gary?
Well, what do you think? With no pylon there, what are they going to do?
Well, without pylon there, you're still as if the pylon exists, and by rule that football, because no body part from Katron Allen hits the end zone, the football must either cross over that pylon or inside, and we're seeing him reach now right here. Naturally, you said contact, pylon disappears. It is the ruling now of that replay official of whether that plane of that pylon would have gone up or the ball would have broken it. This is a great angle. Right there, I'm going to give him the touchdown, fellas, and say a piece of that football goes over the top.
I love you, Gene. I love you, Gene.
Well, you cannot assume that stuff. You know what that assume means, right?
Yeah. Well, we're going to leave it up then to Jason Boykin, our replay official.
That is pretty funny, though.
Call on the field was touchdown. Call up here was touchdown.
Well,
yeah.
The loser has to sit in the third seat in the back of the car.
All the way to Harrisburg.
Yes, all the way to Harrisburg. I eat last when everything gets cold.
Here's the whole play from a different angle.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Matt. Richards.
It's a long season. That's all I'm going to tell you, okay?
72-yard drive in 8 plays. And Katron Allen in the end zone and through the pylon. Cam and the pylon and the defender. And Ryan Barker in for the point after.
We kept showing the end of it, but the middle of that play, when Katron Allen is delivering those power to those tacklers, is what got him to that missing pylon.
Well, earlier we saw Nick Singleton score his 33rd career rushing touchdown. This is Katron Allen to the end zone on the ground for the 25th time in his career.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Vrbo, get the vacation you expect and never a hovering host.
Subway's got a new meal of the day with chips and a drink for just $6.99. Or if you're big hungry, make it a footlong for only $3 more. Huh, big hungry. Is that a thing? That should be a thing. Find your fresh with the all-new $6.99 meal of the day at Subway.
Fire Country returns Friday, October 17th, part of CBS Premiere Week.
The Kia K4 and K5. The next movement for innovation and the next movement for acceleration. Lease a new 2025 K4 LXS for $219 a month.
You know what they say about judging a book by its cover? Everyone with an addiction has a story to tell. Don't know. Don't judge. People who use drugs are still people and have a health condition that can be treated. Support treatment. Abandon stigma. Learn more at oasis.ny.gov. The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. Every step of the way.
Sometimes it's the smallest details that make the biggest difference and shape everything you feel. It's the final days of the Lincoln Summer Invitation event. Now, lease the 2025 Lincoln Corsair all-wheel drive Premier for $499 per month for 36 months.
Space for just in case. Get 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2026 Sportage models.
CBS News New York, your home for all the big games.
Tomorrow on CBS, one of the final Sundays of summer starts on the sand at 2 Eastern with the 2025 AVP Beach Volleyball League Championship. Followed at 4, NWSL action between Washington and Chicago. That's all tomorrow on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, Gene Steratore with you from Happy Valley, where they are happy so far here with a 17-0 lead. Just over 10 minutes to go, second quarter.
The only one that's spinning faster than that is right tackle Zach Okenauer trying to block tonight. Dennis Sutton, his head is spinning.
This will be returned. And a good return it is. Ramsier.
And let's be serious about this a little bit. If you're Nevada, you got to give them a little bit of help. You need to put a tight end over there and help the offensive tackle. That quick corner to the quarterback by number 33 is not a formula to work.
Yep. Chubba Purdy will bring him back out. I know Jenny spent time with both Purdys this week.
Yes, I spoke with Brock Purdy about advice that he gives to Chubba. He said, be yourself, trust your eyes and your footwork, and play with that chip on your shoulder. He wishes he could be here today. Brock's in San Fran watching from the couch with his wife, Jenna, and their baby, guys. I got more after the play.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got to ask you a question that everybody's probably wondering about right now is Chubba Purdy with a nice run, and Purdy got the corner.
He's got jets. He does have quick speed, doesn't he? Run away from the side that's been bothering you. Put a kind of turn the offensive line to Dennis Sutton and then get outside.
18 yards, and Chubba's really not his real name, is it, Jenny?
No, his real name is Preston. He earned the nickname Chubba when he was just a year-old. Guys, he told me he weighed 38 pounds on his first birthday. His dad, Sean, gave him the nickname Chubba. It stuck. His parents told him he was so big, he couldn't even roll over.
Well, he just rolled for 18 yards right there, so he slimmed down considerably. Best play of the day so far by Purdy and the offense. To the 48-yard line. Now sidearm throw out in the flat wide receiver screen. And it's Jordan Brown.
Back-to-back big plays.
Brown takes it all the way down inside the 25.
Offensive coordinator David Gilbertson here got a little bit of from Coach Choate, said I didn't love the first down call on that screen, but he's dialed up a couple nice ones here. Good job by Bubba getting the ball out quick, nice and low by the knees, and turning upfield, and he's got blockers in front of him.
And a 28-yard pickup down to the 24-yard line.
Nicely executed.
So the Wolfpack's got something working here. Let's see if they can keep it alive. Caleb Ramseer in the backfield. Purdy in the shotgun, low snap, handled off to Ramseer, and he broke free and spins down inside the 20.
Penn State makes an adjustment. They move, deny Dennis Sutton to the other side, comes in quick, but not quick enough. Ball's off, and they get another positive play.
Ramseer was a walk-on last fall. Went a little over 100 yards rushing on the season. Nice spin move there. And so the first three possessions were fumble, interception, and punt. And now they've got their best drive going as they're in the red zone. Ramseer stays in there. From the 17, Purdy, look out from behind. Ball is out, incomplete. Well, it doesn't matter which side he comes from. Number 33's been a nightmare here in the first half.
I just said the play before they switched him to the other side, give the other tackle an opportunity at it. Watch the quickness from the outside again. Just hard to judge and get a handle on this guy. And he gets around and makes the play. Woo, man.
He is having a first half. Everybody expected him to be the next Abdul Carter, and he's showing us that right now. Not that he wasn't great last year with Carter. He had 8.5 sacks last year and 13 tackles for loss. It's just that Carter had 23 and 10.5. Third down and 3. Purdy, quarterback draw, and he's got the first down and then some. Down to the 11-yard line.
Nice block by Caleb Ramseer that time. Running the ball well, but this time he's the lead on the quarterback draw that makes the block. Watch this right here. This guy gets the block inside. That's what makes it go. There's a bubble there to begin with. Takes advantage of it. Gets up inside, and that's why Chubba Purdy can get to the outside.
Maury Campbell just got a shoestring tackle on his ankle to bring him down. And they can get a first down now at the 1. They're 11 yards away from the end zone. First down. Full backfield. Woods and Ramseer flanking Purdy. It's Purdy on the option. He'll keep it and gets inside the 10 to the 9.
You know, it really is a challenge, and it's going to be a challenge all game for Nevada to move the ball if they don't keep running the ball at quarterback. And, you know, that adds up. I mean, it's effective, but you're taking against this defense at Penn State, you're putting your quarterback in a lot of harm's way every time.
And like Haynes King last night for Georgia Tech.
Amazing.
He had an unbelievable game, but I bet he doesn't feel like good physically.
Takes as many hits as a running back, Haynes King. That might be the only formula today for Nevada.
Second down and 8. Ramseer is going to lose a yard, courtesy of Colin Dinkins.
Deep snap, a little bit of a delay, and inside, just penetration all over the field that time, getting into the backfield.
So now brings up third down, and they got to get, as I said, to the 1-yard line for a first down, 10 yards away from the end zone.
This formation doesn't look right.
Here comes pressure on Purdy again. He got away from it, trying to get rid of the ball, and he's going to get knocked out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Dominique DeLuca ran him out.
Yeah, I thought the tight end might have been off the line of scrimmage on the play. Could have had 5 people. I thought this was questionable right here, whether he was off the line and too many people in the backfield, but they don't call it, and there's really no one to throw the ball to. Good coverage by Penn State.
So Wolfpack going to try to get points on the board here. They'll go for the field goal. Joe McFadden. His first year in a Wolfpack uniform, he'll try from 28 yards out. And the kick is up and good. So McFadden with his first field goal for the Wolfpack. And they're on the board here in State College. Good looking drive. Stalled a little bit. They had to settle for 3.
Here you go. Let me just.
No.
Oh, all right, kids, let's go. Oh.
Hey, guys.
Sorry.
Hi. For a little more precise measurements, try the Matterport 3D tour on Homes.com. It's the true digital model of a listing.
That's better.
Yeah.
Hop up, kids. We're not doing the sofa.
Homes.com, the place to find a place.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the experience of this trainer.
Good to go.
But getting that trainer.
Megan Trainer. I'm all about that brace, no trouble. Give me your arm.
No, it's not for that.
Who are you?
Patrick. I play football.
This is Patrick, everyone. Give it up for Patrick. He does sports.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Why is no one clapping?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When Verizon gives you a free phone on any plan,
Gemini, show me the concealer.
you use AI a lot.
The long, thin tube in the middle.
Yes, boyfriend of the year.
Did we say a lot? We meant a lot.
Gemini, is my houseplant leaning away because it hates me?
Nothing personal. It's leaning away for more sunlight.
Come here, girl. Gemini, any pointers on my downward dog?
We get it. It's a Google Pixel 10 Pro from Verizon.
Oh, appreciate you.
Behind every DIY
Is more help than you think.
Try this for a clean line.
Nice.
Sometimes help is delivered. And some things have just got to go.
Don't worry, these will go up quick. I wonder if I can link 2 ropes together. Perfect. Because do it yourself
Doesn't have to mean.
all by yourself.
What are you working on?
Hey, Adam Zucker here in New York. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, we get you caught up on the best of today's action. And right now, Alabama's first trip to Florida State. It started smoothly, but tied at 7 when the reverse goes to Mekhi Danzy, a former junior Olympic champion in the 400-meter, his first career touchdown in his hometown. Knowles on top, and it's Gus Malzahn now calling the plays for Florida State, Ness and Gary.
Well, all right, thanks, Zook. And here it's 17-3 after that field goal by Joe McFadden, 28-yarder. And he gets a pat on the helmet, and he looks up at the goalpost and says, well, that felt pretty good, you know. It wasn't that long ago. I wasn't wearing a uniform. I was doing something else. Jenny's going to have more on that after this kickoff. And this one will be returnable from about the 8-yard line. And Khalil Dinkins on the return. It might be McFadden that's got to save it, and he missed the tackle. Cut back by Dinkins all the way to the 15-yard line.
Well, McFadden showed some quicks, I will say that.
Khalil Dinkins, unheralded player. He's basically a tight end. He doesn't look like a tight end here. I think that might have been Matt King.
I think it is too. I think it's the.
It's got to be.
It's 15, I believe, right? Yes. 16, but it's not the tight end.
No.
That would be really impressive if it was Khalil Dickens. But, boy, that was McFadden's running as fast as he could. He showed some great angle to get there.
That's King Mack, the guy that was at Alabama. On that return, 74 yards. And dropped at the 21-yard line is Nick Singleton. And McFadden making an attempt on getting that kick returner on the ground. But, Jenny, he was not playing football not that long ago.
He almost had him there. You never know where you're going to find a starting kicker or a guy that can run down a player these days. High school, junior college, even Twitter. And that is where Nevada found Joe McFadden. He played 2 seasons at UConn. He was working on Wall Street. And just a few months ago, he posted a video of himself kicking balls under New York's RFK Bridge, hoping to catch a coach's eye. Now, Nevada's special teams coordinator found it. They gave him a call. McFadden quit his job the next day. And now he's known as the Wolf of Wall Street, guys. So good.
The Wolf Pack of Wall Street in Reno instead of Wall Street. Here's a throw. Nice tackle. Big hit on Nick Singleton. So they stopped Singleton. That time Cook in on the stop.
Yeah, I tell you, when you talk about wrapping up these skilled players for Penn State, coaching staff and Coach Cho talked about it's an 11-man job. You know, it's not going to be one-on-one tackles. We all have to run to the ball. When we get there, wrap up, hold on, wait for help.
This would be a big stop for the Wolfpack if they can prevent this 3rd down and 13 after that long kick return by Mack.
Quick motion, indicator whether it's zone or man. They're going to get zone.
Aller, plenty of time. And now he's going to run with it. Drew Aller will be pulled down at the 10-yard line.
Early decision here by Coach Franklin.
Whether to go for the field goal or not. It's going to be short yardage on 4th down.
They're going to go field goal.
Spattering of boos with that move here at the stadium.
And as you mentioned, though, that was a great answer by this Nevada defense. The second time, by the way, the turnover before. This was just like a turnover. The long kickoff return into the plus territory. Both times holding Penn State to field goal made, and here a field goal attempted.
Barker hit the first one from 28, this one from 28 inside the left upright. So another add to the points total, 20-3. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
If your grandpa wears one of these, if your husband wears these on the weekend, if your mom wore this, or if your wife wears this, you can count on USAA. Membership for the spouses, kids, and then grandkids of those who served. Count on us. Count on USAA. See if you can join USAA today.
Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Adam Ayer and Rick and BJ have highlights and analysis of our game and catch you up on today's top games, including Ohio State with a win over top-ranked Texas. That's all coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. So, Garrett, first 3 drives for Penn State. Touchdown, four drives, I should say. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal. First 2 set up by defensive plays and turnovers. Kai Woods will bring it out. He had a nice return last time. He's got another pretty good one here.
And that's one of the strategy here. A little better of Booz not going for it. But James Franklin looks at the clock and says, I got 3 timeouts and a 2-minute timeout. If I hold him here, I'm going to get the ball back and give our offense a chance for a 2-minute drive. I think that's what led him. He's going to challenge his defense to get a 3-and-out and get the ball back.
Good call. Time of possession is a little bit deceiving. Total yardage too, but as I mentioned, those 2 turnovers a big help because they didn't have to go very far to get one of the field goals.
And Nevada needs a timeout to get out of the half. They'd love to go in with this score. Resting their defense. They've only had to defend 27 plays so far. They'd like to end that way.
Kai Woods. No, that's Herschel Turner. Haven't used Turner that much so far. And that will take us down to the 2-minute timeout. Penn State, a 17-point lead. And 2 minutes remaining first half here at Happy Valley.
No. Yes! Woo! Prize Picks lineup is all green, baby!
Yeah, me too, boy. That's how we do it.
We are prediction geniuses!
New users pay $5 and get $50 instantly in site credits. Prize Picks.
When Verizon gives you a free phone on any plan,
Gemini, show me the concealer.
You use AI a lot.
The long, thin tube in the middle.
Yes, boyfriend of the year.
Did we say a lot? We meant a lot.
Gemini, is my houseplant leaning away because it hates me?
Nothing personal. It's leaning away for more sunlight.
Come here, girl. Gemini, any pointers on my downward dog?
We get it. It's a Google Pixel 10 Pro from Verizon.
Oh, appreciate you.
Introducing Taco Bell's new $3 steak burritos. Lavishly packed with marinated grilled steak. From the Chipotle Ranch draped in a zesty avocado sauce. To the cheesy melt, brimming with melted cheese. And creamy jalapeno decadence. We call them rich, but they're just $3. New $3 steak burritos, only at Taco Bell.
Live CBS September 7th. Music icon Busta Rhymes receives the first ever MTV VMA Rock the Bells Visionary Award. Don't miss him perform live for one night only. CBS presents the MTV Video Music Awards. Sunday, September 7th. Live on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Being a champion means knowing when to work and when to reward myself.
Strawberry mango.
This is amazing. And with my Active Cash credit card from Wells Fargo, I earn a limited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Really? You call this a workout?
I'm just taking a little break. Then I'll get back after it.
I'm messing with you. Actually, that looks really good.
Make it 2. With the Active Cash credit card from Wells Fargo, I earn a limited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
Final 2 minutes of the first half presented by the Active Cash Card from Wells Fargo. Jenny Dell working out with Saquon Barkley. I don't think she can squat what Saquon did, but she makes a mean smoothie. That's our girl.
That's the only thing I do at the gym, guys. I make smoothies. It was such a fun day of filming, and I think they saw what I could do at the gym, and they said, "Can you just like get in the background and try and squat?"
Well done.
Anything else from you?
Well done, Jennifer.
It was fun.
Saquon, one of the all-time greats here, obviously, at Penn State, and what a season last year with the Eagles.
Tonight, Dennis, something not in the game here. Let's see if Nevada has some time to do something.
Second down and 8. Purdy on a counter.
Here it is.
Didn't go anywhere.
Gonna get a timeout from Coach Franklin now. And he did.
Ty Blanding just blew that one up.
Yep, he's going to get exactly what he was thinking in his mind. Remember, this is a team that is preparing themselves to win a championship. To get a 2-minute drill right now at the end of this half, might be able to get one, get Drew Aller with a 2-minute drill with his new receivers, and maybe not, play a couple series in the second half and get out of there.
Well, you talk about a bull rush by Ty Blanding. He just blew up the offensive lineman on his way to that tackle. The star of this game so far defensively. You can pick a few guys, but number 33 is certainly one of them.
Totally. 2 new tackles, Kokenauer and Foster, both transferred in from Idaho and Central Arkansas, and they went, yeah, I didn't see anybody like that at where I was playing before.
He's back in there now on 3rd down and 12.
What side will he go to? He's going to go to the offense's left side. He's matched up against Jack Foster, number 55.
It hasn't mattered which side he's been on so far. Well, he wasn't in his stance at the snap. And this one's going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage anyway by Mari Campbell. The linebacker making back-to-back plays.
Yeah, Mari Campbell brought in as a transfer from UNC, taking over for Kobe King. Makes the tackle.
Take a look at that last play behind the defense.
Yeah, he's right over here is going to make the play, but pretty well stuffed inside. Neither defensive end were ready for the snap, but stuffed inside, nowhere to go, and Campbell cleans it up.
As you mentioned, transfer from North Carolina. He cleaned up what could have been a mess. Looked like it was going to be a quick opener. And now it's a punt coming up from Ettridge. Just going to get out of the way of this one, let it bounce around, takes a Wolfpack roll down around the 36, 37-yard line.
And this Penn State and Drew Aller could not have it better. 1:41 to go and get a 2-minute drill.
Well, for the first time ever, the MTV Video Music Awards are on CBS. Don't miss the live event of the year. CBS presents the MTV Video Music Awards Sunday, September 7th, live on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Offense could not give that defense a chance to get out of the half.
There's Drew's numbers. Hasn't had to do that much, but has been effective. Being an empty backfield here. And now Nick Singleton will join him. Little shovel pass inside to Singleton, and Nick goes out close to a first down. I think he's got it.
All quarterbacks call that a drive starter, a 2-minute drive starter, just to get it going, get that defense reeling just a bit. Very effective play.
Aller, another quick throw, another completion. Now 10 out of 11. That one goes to Kyron Hudson. And as Gary said, the 2-minute drill, getting an opportunity, still have a timeout remaining. Aller, just a 3-man rush. Drew rips it to the outside of the tight end, and that's a first down to Luke Reynolds.
Secondary receiver wanted to go back downfield this time, wasn't there. Came off to the secondary receiver.
Aller. That time off the mark, intended for Hudson.
A.J. Odom's that time. Great job at corner for Nevada. 5th-year transfer out of UTEP. Watch him at the bottom of the screen right here. He's got a tough matchup, but he forces the receiver outside. It's exactly the way you're taught. Use that sideline as a friend.
So 1:03 and a second down and 10. Katron Allen in the backfield as you look at Drew Aller.
The only transfer in quiet so far is Ross, number 5 right here. He has not caught a ball yet.
Transfer from Troy. Aller, the deep drop.
Boom!
Rips it. And almost intercepted.
All right.
That had some smoke on it.
That's like about a 35-yard strike. It's like the center fielder throwing a one-hopper down in there. Boom! Just off a bit, but what a rip. Trevor Pena stops it. Now remember, these receivers and quarter, this is new, okay? But that was a gun.
No doubt.
Could have been caught.
Yep.
Wasn't perfect, but boy, you got to love that if you're an NFL scout.
3rd down and 10. Aller, an empty set. And directed traffic. Drew loads, reloads, throws complete. This one's Reynolds again, short of the first down. Penn State still one timeout. Clock running down to 45 seconds. And they're going on 4th and 2. Aller sidearms it complete. First down.
I thought Devontae Ross would get one in this drive. He hadn't had one yet. Beautiful job getting the first down. Go no huddle. Trust your quarterback to do the read without having to hear anything from the coach in the helmet.
3 wideouts to the tight end Reynolds in a slot on first down outside the 31. Aller scans the field and now loads and goes to the end zone. Touchdown Penn State, and it's Kyron Hudson. perfectly executed 2-minute drive by Drew Aller and company, and the Nittany Lions add to the lead.
This is what we supposed, what James Franklin wanted in this game is get ready long term. I just don't feel it's played very well by Odoms here this time. Takes his eye off his man-to-man coverage. Well, he had safety help, but he kind of got drawn. I don't know, that looks like a bust to me, Ness. I don't know what they were doing with that coverage. The no huddle and the hurry up kind of got him.
Barker's extra point is good.
Yeah, one safety play and one coverage, and the corner playing another.
So James Franklin, as Gary said, got what he wanted. The timeouts, another chance for his offense, and Drew Aller and company made it pay.
There's losing, and then there's being a loser. Game time comes with enough pressure. Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the NCAA.
Drew Aller had to wait almost to the end of the second quarter to get his first touchdown pass of the season and the 54th of his career at Penn State. But, man, that was a well-executed drive.
Yeah, that whole thing was impressive. You know, some good hard throws, fourth down throws.
Covered 64 yards in 8 plays. Didn't even have to use their last time out.
Right. Directing traffic. He was handling the offensive line, turning him to the left. That's exactly where the blitz was coming. He turned him outside, made sure Drew Shelton knew where the blitz was coming, was able to come back the other way and throw it. He did just about everything on that. Different arm angle on that play. Yeah, he showed a lot, and Penn State got a lot out of this drive. Remember, 3 kind of games that people are criticizing Penn State. Remember, game 4, Oregon.
There's his numbers, including the touchdown at 31 yards.
Uh-oh.
And that ball, the whistle blew. Purdy was just trying to get rid of that.
Second down.
Yeah, that's like that triple option with the pitch being an overhand throw, and that almost came back to haunt him.
It was intended for Jordan Brown, sort of.
Oh, and he tried to hold on to it. You could see that he tried to pull it back.
Got lucky on that.
He did.
2nd and 10, and that play blown up.
We've seen a lot of this, haven't we?
Going all the way back at the 10-yard line.
The deep handoff, the time it's taking to get the deep handoff at Penn State defensive line is just there.
Eni White, number 45 on this one. Watch how quick this happens. Bang.
Wow. Eni White, just to tell you the type of talent, we all know this, the big teams like this, he's listed 3rd on the depth chart.
That's right. The depth chart might go to quarterback in the second half. We don't know. But right now, Penn State heads to the locker room. And they're up 27-3. Their defense has been dominant. Their offense very efficient. And they will get the second half kickoff as well. So a 24-point lead heading to the break as we go down to Jenny with James Franklin.
Special teams and defense have been the stars there. What stood out about their play?
Yeah, just consistent. We got to get kickoff coverage cleaned up a little bit. They had a couple big returns. I wasn't happy about that. But overall, we played really good.
Your offense has been steady. A great final play right there. But what more do you want to see from them offensively?
Yeah, we want to continue to be consistent, efficient. Obviously, we'd like a few more explosive plays. This is a smart head coach. How he's playing defense, now he's playing offense. They're snapping the ball every single time with 2 or 3 seconds left, controlling the clock. So smart on their behalf.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's where time of possession doesn't mean much when you've got everything clicking as Penn State has so far today. That's the end of the first half. 27-3 for the number 2 team in the country as we send you to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for the Geico halftime report. Zuck.
All right, Ness.
At any rate, they used to have ice cream in the old press box. They had a refrigerator right next to our booth, but that booth is gone, and so is the ice cream.
It fell right over.
It went down with the booth.
It's called presidential privilege. If I want to mix scoops, I mix scoops.
That's right. King Mack, who had a 74-yard kick return, is back with Cam Wallace as the two deep men awaiting the kickoff of Joe McFadden. And we're underway, third quarter. This one will be fielded right around the 10-yard line by Mack. And this time he gets out to the 25, and that's where Penn State will go to work to start the third quarter. Welcome back to the booth, everybody. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. You just heard from Jenny. Gene Stewart tours with us. Kind of went in the first half, partner, like we expected it to go. Very efficient for Penn State.
It was a nice fight early by Nevada. The defense good, but overwhelming the defensive line. We saw what they can do. I think the big story is the transfer wide receivers are for real. This is a different team this year for Penn State.
That and the Jim Knowles coordinated defense, which has been spectacular so far today. And Katron Allen, 10-yard gain on first down. Katron picks up 10.
Yeah, you just look behind that offensive line, pulling guards, that time following, this time the tackle. Drew Shelton, nice play.
Allard to the air and a perfect strike.
That ball went 25 yards from the far hash, right on the button again. I always found out, wait a second, when I was in college, I had trouble making that throw because of the college-wide hash. When you get in the NFL, it's even tighter. It's easier to throw that ball either side, but he's showing he's got the arm strength to do it.
Well, he had sensational numbers last year with the exception of a couple of games. The loss to Ohio State.
You know what reminds me of his size and his arm strength? Ben Roethlisberger.
Yep. His favorite player, he says, at quarterback is Josh Allen. He's built a little bit like him, too. At the 48, first down. Quick throw. And complete to Pena again, and another first down and more.
Listen, when Oregon gets that tape, so Penn State will play 3 games that they will be heavily favored to win. Then they get a bye, then they get Penn State here. I guess it's a whiteout, right, to get to the Oregon game?
Yep.
This is going to look like a different offense than what everybody faced a year ago.
Allen's going to pull this one down. It's going to be a holding call in the backfield, it appears.
Yeah, Drew Shelton, that time, number 66. It was a late call as Maldonado was coming around the corner. Shelton did love it, but when you come around and drag him down, they're going to call
Offense
it.
number 66. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Hasn't been a lot of penalties so far in the game, which is good. It's our game trends presented by State Farm. There's Drew's numbers into the second quarter, including the touchdown throw, the final seconds. Katron Allen, Nick Singleton, 1 rushing touchdown each. And Chubba Purdy's done what he could, but he hasn't had a lot of time, courtesy of the defense of Penn State. Now both tight ends, Dinkins and Reynolds, go out to the right side on first down at 20 after the holding call. Aller's going to pull it. And Drew broke one. Oh,
yeah, I would not want this happening if I was my head coach at Penn State. I would say, Drew, we don't need that right now. We got a 17. We want to play 16 or 17 games this year, and we want you playing every one of them.
That shot and that shot and that shot you didn't need. But he got the 10 from the penalty back.
I mean, you know, if it's fourth quarter in a big game, Big Ten game, you got to do it.
Yeah.
But right now, I would like him to get in the pocket. If it's not there, throw that ball away.
Aller got some heat, got around it, throws on the run, a little wobbly and incomplete.
Oh, they called it a catch.
Oh, they did?
They did.
Wow.
Kyron Hudson had maybe the catch of the year last year in college football. This wasn't quite like that, but it was a good if he does it. Let's see if he does. Oh, I don't know. I don't
He's
think
out of bounds.
I don't think he had control of the football.
The ruling on a completed pass is under further review.
That was a good hurry up by Penn State to get up there before it could go reviewed, but the replay official smartly stopped it. I don't think he has control when he finally catches the ball and controls it. It's close, though.
Yeah,
closer than I thought, to tell you the truth. If only there was a pylon there, I could be sure.
Oh, boy. Come on.
Yeah, he might have got his toe down.
I think it was coming up when he was controlling. Gene, what do you think?
You know, I'm going to go with the catch here, fellas. I think that toe was still down. And really, when that ball hits the hands, I think he kept it secure throughout that time. You know, I mean, great job. Left toe. He's up like a ballerina there. That toe is down on the ground.
Gene, just a question here. I really don't know. Is it when the ball touches his hands and the toe is down, or after he controls the ball where the toe is?
Well, it would still be a control thing, Gary, but when we get into these frame by frames, then the question is, like, when does the control actually begin?
So it's
right?
not...
Because you're looking at it. It's not right when it touches the hand. You've still got to see someone grasping.
He surely did.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's a completed pass and a first down.
Yep, good call. That was a heck of a catch.
It looked like he didn't have it, but as Gene said, he not only touched it when he had the toe down, but it looked like he controlled it easily the whole time.
His body control is just unbelievable.
Yes.
You don't think this is even possible, really. And there it is, dragging. He's got it, and then he goes out. So great catch. Now, you mentioned the one he had last year at USC. That was unbelievable. Yeah. So it's completion at first down, right at the 20-yard line. Katron Allen gets wrapped up, and he gets about 3 out of it, actually.
Yeah, we talked about, Ness, the difference in this football team when you get a guy like this transfer. There's that catch against LSU in the opener last year. But he showed all year the big body. He's going to, you can throw to him in traffic and be very confident when you're throwing the ball.
You can see that confidence Drew Aller has in all 3 of these transfer guys so far.
You know, that play and that throw, he showed his escapability, by the way, on that throw as well.
2nd down and 7. Play fake, throwbacks. Oh, whoop. That one got blown up. Nice defensive play. Beautiful job. And it was Kenyon who blew that up.
Yeah, Trevor Pena that time catching that little screen to the outside, but Kenyon that time comes up, and that's how you're supposed to play safety. Beat the blocking tackle to the play. You're faster before the offensive tackle gets to you. Make the play.
Mervyn Kenyon started at San Francisco Community College and a couple of years at Idaho, and last year at Sacramento State. They made him a captain after he came in the transfer portal. Good looking player. 3rd down and 8. Hudson, the motion man. Aller trying to avoid the pressure, comes back to his safety valve. It is Katron Allen.
And nice job by this Nevada defense right here, okay? Go into zone coverage, put a little pressure with just a 4-man rush, force the dump off. This is exactly the way you're supposed to play zone defense here. Drop back, and force the short pass, and then come up and make the tackle. Wonderful defense at time, just enough pressure by the 4-man rush and force a field goal.
And the field goal will be a 32-yard attempt. Barker's hit 2 of them from 28. Let's see if he can keep his string perfect. The left footer to try to make it 30-3, and he does. So Penn State's opening drive of the 3rd quarter gets them 3 more points. Drew Aller's had a sensational game. Their defense has been lights out. They add another field goal to make it 30-3, Nittany Lions.
This game gives us everything. Triumph, heartbreak, hope. Because no matter what the rankings say, you got a chance come Saturday. Because the Buckeyes are back, but they ain't alone. Because the transfer portal shakes it all up. Because we get drama in the SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and Fun Belt coming through. College football gives us everything. Because college football is everything. Nice catch.
Rated E for everyone.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm always scouting for full-time fans. Check out this year's recruits. The teen transfer, married into the team, but acts like he's married to the team. The playmaker can get the ball through the uprights without setting foot on a field. The early season hopeful doesn't hope that this is her team's year, knows so. These fans deserve a Modelo, because football isn't really football without you.
Dr. Rick, we are thinking sandwiches again for lunch. What should I put you down for?
Oh, boundaries. They can be tough for young homeowners turning into their parents.
Now, I'm either going to go tuna melt or Reuben. They're known for their
Remember,
Reuben.
when the door closes, so does the conversation.
Oh, yes, gotcha. Okay. Looks like the soup of the day is tomato bisque.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
I could go tuna melt. If you want to go Reuben, we could do a mix and match.
Tom?
Super fly, super good, shoulda, coulda, knew I would. Super fly, super fresh. Ask your mama, she's impressed. Super fly, super cold, super mean, super nice, super clean. Yeah, you know it.
Everything has led me to this moment.
They're going one by one back home.
Who will have what it takes?
The new season of Survivor, CBS Wednesday, September 24th, and streaming on Paramount+.
Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on CBS, it's big time in Eugene, Oregon. Oklahoma State pays a visit to number 7 Oregon Ducks, who are winning big today. We'll get you started at 3 with State Farm College football today, right here on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Oregon, one of those teams that are picked to be in contention this year. Rick Neuheisel on their Tuesday show actually, I think, picked Dante Moore, their first-year quarterback, starting this year as a Heisman candidate. If he plays like that, Oregon's going to be in the middle of this thing.
Well, if he plays like that, we'll have fun next Saturday, won't we?
We will.
Either way, we'll have fun. 30-3. It was a 60-yard drive and 9 plays to get that 32-yard field goal. Gabriel Osu, college football's biggest kicker. At least I always think that. We'll kick off. Kai Woods will take it around the 2-yard line.
Oh, man.
He maybe shouldn't have taken that one.
I know. I hate those low hits right on the knee to a kickoff return guy.
That was a true freshman, Darius Dixon, who put the hit on him.
Just think about those guys running full speed like that, and bam, right to the knee. You know, one guy going 20 miles an hour, and the other guy coming at you at 18 miles an hour, right on the thigh.
Well, he popped right up. That's good. Two turnovers early is what spotted Penn State a 10-0 lead that stretched to 17-3, and now the 30-3 margin as Purdy takes it on the run, and we run it down to Jenny.
Well, at the half, Jeff Chose told his Nevada team to compete and improve. He said the goal coming in today was to have a clean game. Clearly, that has not been the case. He did praise his defense and Chubba Purdy's play, but he said when it comes down to it, I don't care how this team came off the field. What I care about is how they're coming back on in the second half. Guys, he wants them to compete their butts off here.
And they got the stop on the first series to prevent a touchdown. I'll see if they can get something going offensively. Chubba Purdy on the ground and in the air, but they just haven't had enough of any of it so far. Purdy slings it out, sidearms it out. It's going to be a first down to Jordan Brown. And Jenny was just talking about Coach Choate. Jeff, in his second year, we were asking him about his influences in college football. And he said, well, Will Muschamp and Chris Peterson. We said, could you get any two guys on opposite ends of the spectrum?
I feel like this is like a long way between the two.
One rather mild-mannered and one, let's just say, not.
Right. Said he loved working for Will, though. That was a great tribute he made to Will. We all do love Will.
Yeah, we do. I mean, his sideline.
He is fun to be around. Unless you're on the sideline and you busted something.
That's right. Midway point, third quarter. First and 10, Wolfpack from their own 27. And Turner's going to be dropped down, and the ball is out, and Penn State's got it. Denied Dennis Sutton his second forced fumble of the football game.
I mean, they are making these plays happen 4 and 5 yards in the backfield. Let's see if it was denied Dennis Sutton, excuse me. Takes on a block with one arm. Is he down? He might be down. I think his knee might have gone down. It's really close. What a play, one-handed. Ball comes out. Yeah, ball comes out first.
Tiki Wheatley's the guy that covered it.
Wow, what a play. Takes on a blocker, then with his other arm, makes the tackle and forces a fumble.
Tell a story about Dennis Sutton after this play if nothing happens from the 16. Drew Aller, something might happen though. Got it out on the flat, down the sideline, knocked out of bounds. Trevor Pena.
Drew Aller, watch Drew on this play right here. He wants to go downfield, down the field, down the field, and then he just sidearms it out there. What a play.
First and goal at the 1.
They're going fast again.
Nick Singleton to the corner. Touchdown, Penn State from a yard out.
See, this is where you have a veteran quarterback and the microphone in the helmet, right? And you just say, go quick, run this play. And then your veteran gets up there and runs it. Don't have any goal line defense. But boy, this throw that he makes, he's looking downfield, and then guns and sidearm. Look at that. Quickly turns.
And then Nick Singleton taps it off, his second rushing touchdown of the day. And going for 2 is not going to work. So we'll leave it at 36-3. Jackson Smolik was in there, quarterback. So the only thing they've missed on is a 2-point conversion so far today for Penn State. Nice job by Maldonado to break that up and prevent the 2-pointer. Nonetheless, after the fumble recovery by Wheatley, Nick Singleton from a yard out. That guy's been a monster all day long. Big smile by the quarterback as things are going well in Happy Valley.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
We about to level up. We about to level up.
The new star of the seas. Book your vacation today.
Our communities share one heartbeat, but when disasters strike, that heartbeat stops. And that's when Belfor steps in to help bring it all back. Belfor, restoring more than property.
Behind every DIY
is more help than you think.
Try this for a clean line.
Nice.
Sometimes help is delivered. And some things have just got to go.
Don't worry, these will go quick. I wonder if I can link 2 ropes together. Perfect.
Because do it yourself
doesn't have to mean
all by yourself.
What are you working on?
The Home Depot Big Ten on CBS is sponsored by Allstate, Royal Caribbean, Belfor Property Restoration, and by the Home Depot. A little reminder, coming up later today, the play of the game presented by Jersey Mike Subs. And there have been a number to choose from so far at a 36-3 score.
You could just close your eyes and go, give me one of 33's plays. That could be the play of the game.
I was going to tell the story. He came into our meeting yesterday, and the first couple questions were aimed at Drew Aller.
Four of them.
Denai was just sitting back in his chair, and Gary says, don't you hate that when the quarterbacks get all the questions? Then he started talking a lot.
Right, he was good after that.
Kai Woods, who took a big shot on his last kick return, he hasn't been shy about bringing the ball back. I know that. This time it's going to hit the end zone to bring it out to the 25. And one of Nevada's famous sons, Nate Burleson, our own, who wore a few different numbers when he was at Nevada as a wide receiver and then on to a brilliant career in the NFL. And he's here today, and you're going, oh, what's Nate doing here other than he's a former Wolfpack player? Well, he's got kids. He's got 2 kids on the team, and he's with Jenny right now.
All right, we were just watching the report of that with emotion in your eyes. Now, of course, we all know you as the former NFL player, the broadcaster, but what is it like being the dad on the sidelines to your 2 boys that are suited up?
You guys are going to make me cry. I'm supposed to be enjoying the game. No, it feels good. My sons have been working their butts off to be here in this position, here at Penn State, up against an absolute juggernaut. It's just really cool to see.
Now, none of them took your number. Are they trying to create their own legacy?
Yeah, they definitely did. My oldest son, Nate, who's a wide receiver who you're seeing on the left, he said, Dad, I know you got a lot of records at Nevada, but I'm going to break them all. I was like, okay, son, I like your confidence.
I love hearing that. Now, what is the best piece of advice that you have given them?
Stay locked in. There's so much that you can control, but in college football, there are so many things that are out of your control. Look at today. It's quite out of control. You're playing against Penn State. There's a reason why they're number 2. I talked to them at halftime. I said, you'll have an opportunity to make a play. When that happens, show up and show out.
Love hearing that. Now, you are an incredibly busy man. You are all over the place. We got the NFL today kicking off next week in Green Bay.
Hey, now.
What are you looking most forward to?
Micah Parsons in a Green Bay jersey? Jerry Jones, thank you for the gift. Perfect storyline for CBS Sports. No, I'm excited for the season. You know, we know that football is king. I mean, just look at, we're here with 100,000 watching a college football game. The NFL season is around the corner, and nobody does it better than CBS.
That's right, Nate. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Best of luck this season. Good luck to your boys.
I'm surprised Nate's got a day off. He works all the time, doesn't he?
He had to borrow one.
Yeah.
Us ex-Lions are good talkers. That's all I'm going to say, right?
He took a vacation day to come and watch his kids play.
Nate played for the Detroit Lions, and we learned how to explain things after games.
And Purdy goes down, and guess who got him?
I don't have to. Look at that.
This is just crazy.
You just wonder now just how much longer is this craziness going to go, because clearly this is a mismatch, and this guy is just better than anybody else on the field.
Relentless. Number 33. Man, I thought he was good last year, but this is something special today.
They asked him, you know, why Penn State? He rattled off about 6 edge guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
He goes, that's why.
That's why. The punt just got it away. Ettridge fielded by Pena, and a nice run back. Held onto the ball, both arms around the football, and gets it right back in Wolfpack territory. 4:47 remaining in the third quarter. Even the reactions are like a bear or a lion in this case.
Subway's footlongs are packed with protein, like the Ultimate BMT or the All-Pro Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki with 58 grams of protein. And now, Subway MVP Rewards members can buy any footlong in the app and get 40% off. Fuel up now in the Subway app.
When Verizon gives you a free phone on any plan,
Gemini, show me the concealer.
You use AI a lot.
The long, thin tube in the middle.
Yes, boyfriend of the year.
Did we say a lot? We meant a lot.
Gemini, is my houseplant leaning away because it hates me?
Nothing personal. It's leaning away for more sunlight.
Come here, girl. Gemini, any pointers on my downward dog?
We get it. It's a Google Pixel 10 Pro from Verizon.
Oh, appreciate you.
This your bag, sir?
What gave it away?
Oh, you the Geico Gecko! I'm a huge fan. I filed a claim for my car with the Geico app. Only took 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, Geico's all about getting more than just savings.
The next time, how about less fluid ounces?
Fair enough. Oh.
You use this much serum?
Well, my skincare routine requires...
And a pump top? It's gonna make a mess. Well, I'm taking this.
You took all of them.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
Have a nice flight.
Coach here to tell you about an all-star bundle. It's Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. And right now, you can get all 3 with a special limited time offer. It's as easy as catching a football. It's as easy as catching a football. It's as easy as catching a football. Oh, yeah!
Yes. I'm a baby.
Typically, you say ready before you throw it.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and all of ESPN. 3 All-Stars, 1 incredible offer.
NCAA bullpen.
You better get here.
What exactly we looking at?
Dude, it's a night you've never seen.
NCIS Tuesday. New seasons begin CBS Premiere Week. Catch up anytime on Paramount Plus.
36-3, 4:47 remaining in the third quarter. This is going to be Penn State's 8th possession coming up. They've scored on all previous 7. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown.
So everyone really for Penn State is as advertised, I would say, wouldn't you think?
I think so. I mean, I've been really impressed with Drew Allard today.
Nevada,
Sutton has been out of like
different world.
A different world.
I mean, LeVar Arrington's here. He's impressed.
First down at the 45. Allard. And on the run is Nick Singleton.
That's a part of this offense they haven't even touched in this game. Both Allen and Singleton are really, really good receivers coming out of the backfield.
He caught 41 passes last year. Now he's got it on the ground. And he's got it to the 21-yard line. And the new look Penn State is without Tyler Warren, who had 104 catches for over 1,200 yards. And the rest of the receiving group was less than that. But the receiving group for the portal today, the guys we've seen, have been pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what I think the coach wants them to do right now.
The guys they brought in this year account for 198 catches, 2,446 yards, and 23 touchdowns last year, as you look at Ross, Pena, and Hudson across the board.
And how about what Andy Koldenicki said? We looked around, and these were our first 3 choices. Right. We got the first 3 guys we wanted out of the whole country. Nice to have a good team, a good offensive line, and a senior quarterback coming back. You can attract some good players and maybe a little money.
Kyron Hudson's career high was 6 catches against UCLA last year. He's matched that today. Here's a shovel pass inside. Didn't go too far with that one.
Funny is we've not seen them featured in this game, but Andy Koldenicki talked and raved about what his 2 tight ends will be this year.
Right.
He said, I love them both. They're different, and they are going to be weapons throughout the season.
And, of course, we were asking him the question about how you replace Tyler Warren, and he bragged up his tight ends, and Gary and I are still looking at each other winking like, well, it doesn't get much better than 44 did last year. This is a 39-yard field goal attempt by Ryan Barker, who's been perfect today from 28, 28, and 32. Kick on the way, just inside the upright, and he's good again.
Coach Choate wanted his team to keep playing. That defense kept playing right there on that series.
Americans, we can do anything we want, except one thing. We just can't stop being American. So get out there, take your swing, rev your engines and let freedom ring, and never, ever, ever stop being American. Nothing stops America, and nothing stops Ram.
Right now, during the Ram Make This the Summer event, get 10% below MSRP or get 1.9% financing for 72 months on select 2025 Ram 1500 models.
Jersey Mike's is now an official sponsor of the NFL.
Hold on. You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Being a champion means knowing when to work
and when to reward myself.
Strawberry mango.
This is amazing. And with my Active Cash credit card from Wells Fargo, I earn a limited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Really? You call this a workout?
I'm just taking a little break. Then I'll get back after it.
I'm messing with you. Actually, that looks really good.
Make it 2. With the Active Cash credit card from Wells Fargo, I earn a limited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
Great. Wait, why is Danny DeVito fishing in here?
Oh, that doesn't matter. This is a Jersey Mike's commercial. So what matters most is your sub and that sub bowl. Don't tell anybody about my secret spot. Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Hey, it's Adam Zucker with a Jeep update, and it is getting louder in Tallahassee. Noles already up by 10 when Thomas Castellanos finds Jalen Lucas, who burns almost the entire Bama defense. They would score on the next play. It is 24-7. Number 8 Alabama in trouble in the third quarter. Ness and Gary, back to you.
Ooh,
man.
Things not going well for the Tide. Low tide in Tallahassee.
Gus Malzahn has always had something up his sleeve for Alabama, didn't he? I mean, he's been a thorn in their side.
This guy's been a thorn in the side of Nevada all day long. His day is maybe done. I think I'd save him.
Yeah.
2 forced fumbles.
And remember, that was part of the plan. James Franklin talked about it. He goes, no, we want a 16-game plan for our starters.
Yeah.
We think we're going to go to the championship, and that means we got to be prepared to play maximum number of games.
And it's been 12 years making this depth. We're going to use some of it. So we have guys fresh when we need them at the end. That'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at our news and notes from around college football. Army got shocked by Tarleton. Ohio State a winner over number 1 Texas today. And our old friend Lee Corso.
Yeah, I am standing up and clapping.
I am
Coach
too.
Corso, I'll tell you that right now.
And he made the right headgear pick today with Kirk Herbstreit on his side. And he called it 14-7. Great career as a coach. An even better career as just an unbelievable personality. I had the pleasure of working with Kirk and Lee on football video games
That's
together.
right.
Man, we had some laughs. I'm telling you, that was a lot of fun for
What
about
I
10
liked
years.
about Coach Corso, he never changed. He was the same way as a coach.
Yep. So Lee, have fun in retirement. You did it well. Purdy, I guess he didn't step out of bounds.
Well, Tom DeLuca that time thought he had an angle on Chuba, and he missed. He's got to be like a 4-5 guy.
He's fast.
He really is.
He gets
Because
to this
look at
corner
that.
and he just takes off.
And DeLuca thought he had him.
Oh, right there, he stayed in. Whoa, that one was close. Anyway, 22-yard pickup.
That was pretty impressive.
He's their leading rusher today. He's been their offense. 106 total yards. So Chuba's doing what he can.
If you're Nevada right now, you're just trying to get better. Every play, when Coach Jeff Choate talked to us on the phone, he said, I want our team to be executing better at the end of the game than the beginning of the game. And they've continued to work hard. We want to take this game and get better for the rest of the season. The goal, I think it's reasonable. Can we go to a bowl game,
right.
6-6?
As you said, they sure haven't quit defensively, forcing field goals from Penn State. This is the highest ranked team they've ever played. Penn State coming in at number 2. Purdy fires deep, and he's got it.
Beautiful throw.
Inside the 20-yard line. Drilled it to Marcus Bellin, his top receiver.
Yeah, this is a gunner. He knows he's got man-to-man coverage, high free safety. He's got to put it on a rope, and he does.
Pick up a 32 yards to the 20-yard line. Now they'll empty the backfield. Throw inside behind his intended receiver that time. And that was intended for Nate Burleson.
Yeah, this was a perfect throw. Couldn't put too much air because the defensive back would have made a run at it. A lot of second and third players out there on this Penn State defense right now. I don't know. Do you see a starter out there at all? I don't see one first look. He had DeLucas, but he think DeLucas playing Mike now. He's playing a different position.
Yeah, he and Campbell both have to have a green dot helmet because sometimes they're out there together and sometimes they're not. So that means Campbell has to have two different helmets. Purdy scrambling around trying to make a play. That one's tipped in the air, incomplete. Was intended for Jordan Brown.
And every play, if you're a quarterback playing this thing, everything is contested. That ball was coming pretty hard, pretty tough ball to catch if you're that close for an interception.
So 3rd down and 10.
You know, in this case, if I'm calling plays and I'm the coach, I'm giving them 2 downs to make a 1st down. You know, I just would use it as experience against a good team.
Purdy across the middle, throws a dart, and it's a 1st down.
That's one of those, I don't know if this is by design or not, but it looked like they were pretending they were pointing, and maybe that's part of the play. Let's see, he's pointing, he claps, and then is he, no.
I don't think he was ready.
The center was off base on that one, the Jargo.
Lucky that he caught it and got his hands on the football enough to deliver this.
Absolutely. Kind of a cool play. People start doing that.
They'll put that in the repertoire.
Point out and protect the snap, and then everybody's just standing there.
65-yard drive so far. Might be the last play of the quarter. It's Purdy's call. He got it down around the 7-yard line, and that could be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Pretty cool drive here. Started out by that long run by the quarterback, and he had a great throw in this drive. This is Brock Purdy's best drive. Excuse me, Chubba Purdy's best drive.
You knew that was coming sometime. Sure, Brock's watching. Had to get you in there sometime. That's the end of 3. Drew Aller, a big day so far. Penn State, a 36-point lead so far. 106,915 are watching this one with us. We played 3. Jeff Choate still encouraging his team during that break between the 3rd and 4th quarters as they continue to play hard. Outmanned, but not giving up at all. Purdy in the shotgun at the 6-yard line. 2nd and goal. Going to throw it away. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a Jim Knowles all-out blitz that time.
Kenny Woosley was coming off the corner and got right in Purdy's face.
Newly signed ex-Ohio State defensive coordinator, now calling the defense for Penn State. That's exactly what he's always done in these key plays. He expects his defensive backs to play man-to-man, and he's coming after the quarterback.
Pennsylvania native from Philadelphia area, Jim coordinated the #1 defense in the national championship last year, and now in the Big Ten at a new spot and a different color, navy and white. Purdy to the corner, not quite. Incomplete. It's 4th and goal.
He threw a flag on the play. I don't know if they called a pick. I think they called a pick, but they weren't throwing it to the player that the referee called the pick to.
They were throwing it to Marcus Bellin. Here's the call.
Pass interference. Offense number 0.
Yep.
That penalty's declined. The result of the play, 4th down.
So it's 4th down, a goal.
Oh yeah, you just got to go for it here. You don't want to kick the field goal. Get an extra player, an extra rep going against good football players.
Rams here with Purdy in the backfield. The tight end and 2 wideouts in tight on the left. 4th down and goal. Purdy throws high and hits the crossbar, incomplete. And he took another shot from the defense.
It was a late delayed blitz right in his face on this play, and it made the ball go high. Adjustment right at the end off the slot gets him in there, and that ball sailed. Aggressive defense by the new defensive coordinator.
This is Judy and Pedro. They just bought their first home and are learning a lot. Thanks to Google, Pedro knows more than he wanted to about gravel.
Oh.
And Judy wouldn't call herself a plumber, but she dabbles.
Wait, how do these things work together? Honey, I did it!
So far, if they've learned one thing about home ownership, is that there's a lot to learn. Good thing you can just ask Google.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can guest how you guest. Enjoy the local scenery without leaving your hotel indigo. Leave work without leaving the lobby and unplug for the day. Or plunge into a long weekend at a Holiday Inn. Choose from 20 IHG hotel brands and earn points for free nights with IHG One Rewards.
And the ball came out.
And Penn State recovers. Ball's batted up and intercepted.
From the 17, Purdy, look out from behind. Allen to the end zone. Nick Singleton to the corner. Touchdown, Penn State. Now look at our IHG Hotels and Resorts game recap. The defense has been sensational. And a 39-3 score here in the fourth quarter. Brad Nussler, Gary Danielson, James Franklin getting closer to number 2 on the all-time Penn State list to pass Rip Engel, and Joe Paterno, of course, is number 1. And, you know, he'll get a game ball for that. And we're going to give you a game ball for your performance today. No, coach is going to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yesterday I called it. Yeah, it was very nice. Penn State people, James Franklin, offered me a job right after that.
Yeah, he did. Analyst.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you've been doing for 36 years, 30, whatever.
Except it's 80 hours a week.
He's not going to do that.
This is about 12 hours.
You have to golf in between all of that. So, anyway.
Good last year.
Nice game.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be
fun. We're going to grind all the way. We want to call some ball, right? We've got a good career together. We want to finish calling every game the way we started.
This is our 17th year together. And a new quarterback. We expected that to happen. Ethan Druckemeyer is in at the controls. Cam Wallace is tailback, and Wallace. All these guys now, obviously, you know, you're going to say they want to get as much time and energy as they put into practice and everything. And there's Drew's final numbers today. And he threw a couple of those away, actually.
So I know we got the backups in. We want to feature them, but we also want to sign off on Drew Aller's the story for this team, basically. Yeah. It's kind of been the story of college football. We talked about this. A veteran quarterback coming back his senior year.
We've seen that happen before, and sometimes that one more year coming back ends up being your best one. And that's what he's hoping for this year. Druckemeyer got it out in the flat.
Another nice play.
Dan Wallace.
Quarterback handles the pocket, very nifty. And then if you want carries around here, you got to show you deserve it.
Oh, wow.
Cam Wallace is ready. That's a familiar number. You just got to do it backwards.
Yeah, you got to jump over a guy like Saquon backwards, but I think Saquon's going to say that was pretty sweet.
Impressive, but backwards, you know. I mean, Jenny only goes to the ice cream shop with backward jumpers.
First down, Nittany Lions. Druckemeyer out in the flat. That one's dropped. Incomplete, intended for Liam Clifford.
No way Jenny does a commercial unless you can go backwards like that.
From our AT&T pylon cam, a third look at a great hurdle job by Cam Wallace. Yeah. Oh, the guys are loving it over there. That's what it's all about. You get your chance, you go out, you make a great play like that, and your buddies greet you at the sideline. Corey Smith this time. He got a couple. Let's take a look at the Modelo game changer.
Yeah, Drew kind of showed the growth of these quarterbacks and what they're looking for. Read the defense, make the quick decision. We know he can throw. Making the different throw when it's not there. This was a side armor, led it perfectly, and then just being patient. You don't have to scramble, keep your eyes downfield, and throw it to one of those big guys you went out and recruited this year.
Nice job all the way around. Rundermeyer looks to the sideline. Change the play up. Corey Smith switches to his right-hand side. Back to throw. And on the run, delivers a strike again. And a first down. And Rappleyea is still going. Got a flag down. Andrew Rappleyea, the receiver.
Kind of a tight end slash receiver, right? One of those H-back type guys.
Yeah. Pick up a 27 on the play, and the flag. Here's a call.
Illegal block in the back, offense number 2. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. The result of the play is a first down.
So you can back them up 10 for the block in the back.
Liam Clifford, Sean's little brother, wide receiver here at Penn State. Coaches talked that he's going to earn a lot of playing time this year. Yeah, he did. Kind of started out looking like he might get his helmet across there, but as I was looking at it on my extra camera over my extra monitor over here, I think that's a good call.
Pretty much backups in at every position for Penn State. What a strike that one is to Dinkins.
This is a beauty.
Dinkins got a first down.
Yeah, this is how you got to throw the football. You want to earn playing time, and Coach Franklin said there's going to be a battle all year for the backup. But watch this throw. Ooh. Boom, man.
Threw it right over the top of the linebacker and right on target.
Yeah, that's how you throw the ball. That's how your receivers, by the way, come back and love you. Give you a hug in the huddle. Thanks, man. Get that ball to me fast.
A 24-yard pickup. So both Reynolds and Dinkins, the tight ends with catches today, trying to replace Tyler Warren from a year ago. And backpedaling is Cam Wallace. He didn't hurdle anybody backpedaling, but
Ness, we were talking about going a jump from your junior year to your senior year. Remember this? We did these games in '93. The difference between Kerry Collins as a junior and how he was as a senior, that was an undefeated team. A lot of people believe that Penn State and Joe Paterno, this was his best team.
Yeah, that '94 team, I think they were ranked #1. We did the Indiana game. Indiana almost beat them. They dropped them to #2, and it may have cost them the national championship.
They pulled their starters earlier, and the game was closer than it looked.
And then they put Collins back in.
Right.
Said, uh-oh.
But that's that kind of story. You know, we've seen it. I mean, Joe Burrow wasn't a first-round pick as junior.
Right.
J.J. McCarthy from his junior year to senior year.
Yeah.
Will Howard, you know, I mean, last year. That's what you're looking for. These guys are coming back. I mean, Vince Young, same type of a deal, right?
Yep. And this guy might have his best team ever. That's what the fans think. That's what most people around the country think.
But you know, we've watched a lot of this. It's going to come down to 2 or 3 games, 3, 4, 5, 6 clutch plays in the fourth quarter.
Corey Smith got whacked. Woo. And Stone Combs, this is Vince's name. He just stoned him on that one.
He did. I don't even. Comes right from the left side. 33.
Nobody touched him.
Yep. Kind of a bust, and that's a second offensive line. It's not quite as clean as when you got those guys who have worked together for a couple of years.
Druckenmeier and the offense started this drive, remember, at the 6-yard line after the failed 4th and goal by the Wolfpack. So they moved it all the way to the Nevada 23. Druckenmeier loads, fires, and completes it down around the 13. That's going to be Tyseer Denmark.
Yeah, they're kind of talking about that Tyseer's going to be a great player here for Penn State.
That might have touched the ground.
Yep, that might have skipped.
Trying to get his arms under it. And I guess they're not going to look at him. 4th down and 2. Druckenmeier under center, the toss, trying to get to the edge is Corey Smith, and he got there.
The Chris toss got the guys out in front. Snap to the ball, get it out, the quick pitch. There he goes. Everybody's running.
Now they're getting up to the line quick as well. On 1st and goal at the 7. Quarterback draw. That only got him a yard or so.
Just wanted to add another one. You know, even Dylan Gabriel last year for Oregon. I mean, those guys that have played out their career, and that's what Drew's trying to do this year for Penn State.
Druckenmeier to the corner of the end zone, too high, and completes. That was intended for Clifford.
Yeah, kind of like where he put that ball that time. If it was going to be either Clifford was going to get it or nobody else, because you could feel that corner sinking under it. If it was lower, that was a potential interception.
So that brings up 3rd down and goal.
Drew's smart. He's watched the game with his offensive lineman. Right?
That's a smart move all the way around.
Just stand there.
Maybe dinner with their offensive lineman.
Well, he's got enough money.
I think so. Druckenmeier scrambling around. He's going to try to do it himself. To the corner. Did he get there? He did. Touchdown, Penn State.
It's a pretty nifty drive here. Ethan Druckenmeier, highly recruited. By the way, I think I'm pretty sure he has the same quarterback coach as Drew Aller, being trained by.
So they go from the 6 to a 6-yard touchdown run. 94 yards and 15 plays. Good looking drive. A little bit of everything.
Yeah, he showed a little bit of wheels there too. You know, they don't have Bo Prabula from last year that, transferred to Missouri. By the way, Bo had himself quite a game.
Sure did. Here's the true freshman in for a point after his first point in a Nittany Lion uniform. Matthew Parker with the extra point. First career touchdown for that guy. First career extra point for the man that added one more to it. And when you score a touchdown and your backup did it, you're going to be the first guy to meet him down the field. That's the way to do it. 46-3.
Superstitions, Matt?
Hi, Carly. Good thing Discover makes it easy to be a Big Ten fan.
Totally. I get cash back on my rally cap.
Cash back on my favorite glove.
Cash back on my Lucky Shamrock.
Cash back on my game day chicken wings.
Cash back on my one cleat.
I even earned cash back on my lucky bobblehead.
You win. Next round's on me.
Earn cash back on every purchase with Discover, the official card of the Big Ten.
When I switch to T-Mobile, you'll give me a new iPhone 16, and I can keep my old phone?
That's right. No trade-in.
No!
Yes.
Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 on us. No trade-in needed. See how you can save up to 20% when you check the math at T-Mobile.com.
Chipotle just dropped Build Your Own Chipotle.
Let's go! A mini Chipotle experience at home.
It feeds 4 to 6 people.
We have a lot of food here.
Lots of protein, rice and beans.
Everybody can make whatever they want, and there's plenty to go around.
Absolute game changer.
We're here. Progressive's accident response detected an accident and sent for help.
Did we beat him? Where's Superman?
Saving the world, maybe?
So we did the
Yeah, I don't think car insurance is really his thing.
Not with us around.
Yeah, I already called a tow truck and started your claim.
I guess not all heroes wear capes.
Yep, some wear tummy capes.
Ew, what?
Don't say things like that out loud.
No.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
The Home Depot Big Ten on CBS is sponsored by Discover, Progressive, the Home Depot, and by T-Mobile.
Ness, I got an idea for you. You want to just listen to me the whole thing before you say
Before
no.
I interrupt you?
Before you say no,
All
okay?
right.
On January 31st, Penn State is going to play Michigan State right here in the Frozen Four. They're going to play a hockey game right here.
Yep.
They're doing a lot of favors for me my last year.
Yeah.
I think I could get us to do that game. It's probably 4 or 5 degrees.
You're crazy. Totally.
You're spotter. Clint says he's in.
It could be number 1 against number 2
Yeah, it
playing
is.
Michigan
and
State.
They signed their number 1 player in ranking, Gavin McKenna, Penn State. I mean, this is a good game.
And the women's team's playing Robert Morris
Absolutely.
that day, too.
Back-to-back.
I wonder if they'll have 107,000. I don't know what the configuration. I tried to find that out today, but I don't know.
Windy. It's going to be a little windy.
It's going to be a lot windy. You get a little air under the puck, you could hurt somebody. Well, I don't know, but you'd have to be a survivor to go to a hockey game here on January 31st.
This one last.
Survivor's back on September 24th. This season, 18 players make their mark on Survivor history. Worth playing for? Survivor returns CBS Wednesday, the 24th September, and streaming on Paramount.
Yes, we do the Sun Bowl. We got a whole month to get ready for this.
We'll do one on December 31st and then do the hockey game on January 31st. A.J. Bianco in at quarterback now for the Wolfpack. And they keep it on the ground, and nice second effort run by Ashton Hayes. With 7 minutes and change remaining in this game. Wolfpack, last year I mentioned earlier, they were 3-10. They were winless in the Mountain West, but I said to Coach Choate, I said, man, you talk about being close on cigars but not being able to smoke one. They had 6 losses by 7 points or less last year, and he told us, hey, we got to figure out a way to finish. And you know what they're finishing today against, they're outmanned. They have played hard today. I give them credit.
And Coach Choate knew what he was getting into coming here.
Yeah.
This is going to be a 2 or 3 year rebuild, and the goals are to be a player in the Mountain West, right? Compete for the championship in the new Mountain West.
Bianco, nice throw to the outside, completes it. Let's see if they can find 6 wins to get to bowl eligibility. Here's what their schedule looks like.
All right, got to win the next 2. Not to win how about 3? Can they go 3-0 here?
And then they hit the Mountain West. Boise State's already lost a game, so they're not going to be number 25 anymore. Jenny?
Well, you guys started the fourth quarter by showing a video of Choate giving his guys some love and motivation. I've been seeing it all day on the sideline. Before the game, he said, I need to keep my poise as a coach. We need to be able to catch these guys when they fall, because they will fall. That's just part of football in general. Guys, he said his #1 goal is to take care of his people and add value to their lives, and you can really tell that he cares.
Yep, no doubt. He was co-defensive coordinator, linebacker coach at Texas from 21 to 23. He was a former head coach at Montana State. He was on Chris Peterson's staff. We talked about the influence of Chris when Chris was head coach at Washington. And it's a tough gig.
And he also said, you know what I want? I said, what do you want to say? Guys watching this game, they're out there. He says, I want the players to say these guys competed the whole game. I want to be a part of that.
That they have.
Going for it, 4th and 1, or are they trying to draw them off?
And they send a man in motion. The clock's running down. And did they take a timeout?
And I think there was a legal procedure, to tell you the truth.
False start.
Yeah.
Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
right guard is the guy that jumps. So Chubba Purdy's day is over, and he did everything he could. 7 out of 15 passing.
The best part of Chubba Purdy is that smile right there, because as much as he's been injured and as much as he ran the ball, he got a smile on the sideline. That means he's playing next week, because he's gone through a lot in his career, injury-wise.
Sure has. He's going to drop over 3 different schools now in 7 starts to be 0-7, and that's no fun. But his running ability today was really special. Tysiu Denmark, and they're going to track him down around the 30-yard line. So we're down to 4:35. Chubba with the smile, talking to Nate Burles' kid over there on the sideline.
Behind every DIY
is more help than you think.
Try this for a clean line.
Nice.
Sometimes help is delivered. And some things have just got to go.
Don't worry, these will go quick. I wonder if I can link 2 ropes together. Perfect. Because do it yourself
Doesn't have to mean
all by yourself.
What are you working on?
Summer is racing by fast, and so is your chance to save big on a new Honda. That's because the $7,500 federal EV tax credit ends September 30th. So save on a Prologue EV by getting one now. You can also get a great deal on a hybrid from the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Hurry into your local Honda dealer during the summer event.
Alvarez. Who's Alvarez?
Corporal Alvarez.
Corporal Alvarez. Well done. Thank you, sir.
When Verizon gives you a free phone on any plan, you use AI a lot.
Gemini, show me the concealer.
The long, thin tube in the middle.
Like a lot. Get a Google Pixel 10 Pro on us.
Boyfriend of the year.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
The Road, Sunday, October 19th, part of CBS Premiere Week.
Tonight on CBS begins with FBI, followed by back-to-back editions of 48 Hours. That's tonight on CBS. Down to the last 4.5 minutes.
Yes. You know, you mentioned that Chubba has like an 0-8 record now.
0-7.
0-7. Is he the only one that gets the yell, or does any other guys on the team get?
I just said as a starter, you know.
But did the other starters get an L too?
Yeah, they should. They should.
Just him, right? And a coach and a head coach.
Drew Aller, by the way, now is 24-6 as a starter after today.
All right, we got it.
A couple of bad games last year. The only 2 really bad games were Ohio State and Notre Dame. Other than that, all his stats from the previous year got better. This guy's running hard, man. Corey Smith. And you look at strength of schedule around the Big Ten. The teams that have it at the hardest: Wisconsin, Rutgers, Purdue, and Iowa. Yeah. Michigan has the easiest schedule.
And like a little bit of a dark horse, because you know their quarterback play improves. I mean, you know,
it can't any worse.
It is exactly right. And you know, you have to assume that, you know, a true freshman quarterback is going to get better every week.
Right. He is the starter, Bryce Underwood. His shovel pass. And got it to Rapplier. Right now, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, or Oregon. And look ahead, key opponents. Gary mentioned Oregon coming in here to a whiteout. Ohio State's already cleared one of those hurdles by beating Texas today.
Yeah, really interesting, though, for this Penn State schedule. They played, 3 games, obviously, that everybody knows they should win.
Right.
And then they got the whiteout game, but they have a bye before the Oregon game, and they have a bye, no game before Ohio State. So the schedule sets up well for them to be healthy for both the first game against Oregon, the big game. Now, every game's big, I get it. At Iowa, the key to this Penn State team is the middle of the year. At Iowa, then they get an off date at Ohio State and Indiana at home.
That'll be the meat of it. Here's a little swing pass out to Denmark again. He gets it to midfield. You can catch more Gridiron action next Saturday at 8 Eastern over on CBS Sports Network as the Bruins of UCLA, the Big Ten, go on the road to take on the Rebels of UNLV in primetime. Nice hit. Rappelier, and he got it from Kenya to Kent. This guy can see why they wanted him in the transfer portal.
Yep. He is a real tough, hard-nosed player, isn't he?
Had a couple of interceptions and 51 tackles at Sacramento State last year. There's my vote for player of the week so far.
You know who's voting right with you? Chubba Purdy right now.
That's right. Deny Dennis Sutton. And the Penn State offense will walk over to talk things over, but the 2-minute timeout, 46-3 Nittany Lions.
Caught the early flight. See you there.
Finally beating your siblings to the good room on family vacation. That's what the world's biggest airline can do for you, baby bro.
I'm 26. Now that I'm a mom, things are, well, different. I have twice as many outfits to plan. My overpacking has reached new levels. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose whatever plan they want. I save money and can keep the same low price for 3 years. Love that for me. I had to do it, I'm sorry. Ouch. That's where that was. Found it!
Did you know Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating?
Is it weird seeing yourself on TV?
It's my job, isn't it? To let people know that Geico's more than just savings.
Certainly have our cat's attention. Whoa.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, it appears so.
Well, they just love great customer service.
Customer service, right.
They don't get this excited for wet food. You know?
No.
Guys, he's right here.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
I was out on delivery when I came across a snake, a rattler.
FedEx presents Tall Tales of True Deliveries.
There we were, driver versus reptile. Our battle was legendary. Wait a second. You don't own a pet snake, do you? Maybe now, my friends will believe me.
If this is what we did for one delivery, see what we can do for your business. FedEx.
Sheriff's authority ain't recognized up here.
Dale, give it our best.
Mickey.
You are Edgewater's finest.
Two minutes remaining in the ball game. Still to come. Adam, Aaron, Rick, and BJ share their insights on this one and bring you the day's best highlights on the U.S. Army post-game show coming up when we're done. Talked about NFL stars. Nate Burleson. There's a guy that was pretty good too.
On the left.
LeVar Arrington. That little hug between those two. Wow, was he something. We did a lot of his games.
Sure did.
Penn State. And his son, LeVar Jr., is also a member of this team.
There's LeVar Arrington highlights, just like Dennis Sutton, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, if you're an edge rusher or a linebacker, you probably played at some point here. There they are.
Who you like in this matchup?
I'd take LeVar, but I think Nate can outrun him by far.
So, yeah, if it's a running game,
yes.
I'm going with LeVar. Passing game, I think Nate can beat him one-on-one.
And stopped on 4th and short.
Yep, now that is the winning play today for Nevada. Finishing the game the way Coach said, let's finish it with pride at the end of the game. Let's play right to the last play. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Play Nevada Wolfpack football.
And Bruce Nichols did so.
That's
Bruce
impressive.
Eccles, beg your pardon, Eccles.
That's pretty impressive. And that's where, so a lot of these guys are new. That's where you look around in the film room and you go, all right, I've been watching myself play, but I'm noticing I got a lot of teammates that are willing to lay it on the line too. That'll help them right there, that play.
A.J. Bianco at quarterback had it hit, but he still completed it. Got it to Ashton Hayes.
Ness, if I was Jeff Jones, I would start the film session on Monday when we get back with that play, that fourth down stop in the fourth quarter, down 46-3. That's how I'd start it. This is what I'm proud of.
Bianco is going to take off, shows his wheels, and he's got a big gainer and slides to a first down. One Gary's talking about was put on by Eccles, number 56.
Yeah, really three
there's three
players.
guys there.
You know what I mean? That is what you're looking for. What we realize, it's Penn State's backups, but to play hard when the score is 46-3, that's what you're looking for. That's what gets you to a bowl game right there.
Yep.
That type of effort.
Now to the final minute. A.J. Bianco still trying to line up and fire deep and throws it out of bounds.
Kind of had him. Good throw. You know, could have got him down to the 10-yard line. Wasn't his best.
He redshirted in 2022. In 2023, started a couple of games. Originally, he was a Hawaii commit. Talking about A.J. Bianco. Under a minute remaining on a third down and 8 coming up. Little counter. Doesn't pick up the 8 yards. It'll be fourth down. So this is going to be win number 102 for James Franklin in his 12th season now at Penn State. Next up on that list, Rip Engel with
Nevada.
104 victories. And then Joe Paterno tops everybody's list with over 400.
Yeah, I think every direction that James Franklin looks in this game, every direction, it's a win-win-win. Healthy players, get your backup in. Quarterback has grown up and taken that next step so far. The wide receivers we brought in are as advertised. Yeah, a lot of things have gone right for Penn State today.
No doubt. And both running backs had a touchdown. In fact, Nick Singleton had 2.
Yeah, and the other win is they each carried the ball 8 times. You know, no wear and tear.
Neither one of them, Katron Allen or Nick Singleton, reached the next level on the Penn State rushing chart.
Correct.
Lydell Mitchell was next. And Lydell, your
okay.
spot is still safe until at least the next game.
They're coming.
Bianco throws down the middle, and he throws a strike and a first down. And it's Marcus Bellin who's been the best wideout today for the Wolfpack. He was a year ago and as a punt returner, and he showed it up here today again. They got it down in the red zone at the 19. Under 40 seconds. Bianco fires. This one's high and complete. Second down and 10, a little over a half minute to go.
Yes. Hey, come here, boys. Come here, guys. I'm working on my start here.
I think his start's just fine.
Right.
Bianco throws, got a man, just overshot him. And Brown, they're going to call it.
They did call it. Wonder if he got a tug on him that time. Just, did he grab his jersey?
Colin Dinkins, I think, is going to be the guilty party.
Let's see if he grabbed the jersey. Yes, he did. Got a handful. Even with the white gloves, the referee caught that one.
Pass interference. Defense number 31. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, that's a pretty good call back there because that was tough to see.
Sure was.
White gloves, white jersey.
So with a half minute to go, opportunity here on a 1st and goal at the 4. And we'll get another flag. This one's false start.
False start. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Trent Scott playing on the left side. Jumped early. First and goal at the 9. Fires far side, touchdown, Bellin. Marcus Bellin, top target today for both quarterbacks, and the Wolfpack finally in the end zone.
Yeah, this is a busted coverage. Combo coverage, not enough communication from the slot. You see the safety back here. One of these two guys have to cover that clear in combo coverage, and nobody runs with him. I mean, he's wide open as you can get.
Play into the end.
Yep, nice finish for this Wolfpack team.
No doubt, yeah. And to go for 2. This is a unique looking set. And he got it. 2-point conversion. Got it to Jet Carpenter. Good job for the Wolfpack on the drive. Take it down. Cut it to 46-11 on a 50-yard drive at 8 plays. Took a minute and a half.
The truck just said I could draw. What do you want me to draw? I have no idea. Where am I supposed to go with my draw right here? There's guys all over the field. I was confused. Penn State was confused on that one. Truck says go ahead and draw.
All I could call it was a unique lineup.
Yes, they were all over.
So Purdy didn't throw a touchdown pass today, but Bianco does. Had one last year, got one here early in the season. Just the fact that they finished the way they did is going to make the ride home a little bit better. I can tell you that much.
3 time zones, by the way. You know, came out here. That's been a story in the Big Ten a year ago, the 3 time zone trip.
Been a big story in our travel arrangements.
Well, we're going to test it, aren't we?
I guess so. Here's a pooch kick. No fair catch called. I guess there was. I didn't see it.
Fair catch signal was called. First down, Penn State.
Yeah, I don't think Andrew Rappelye is the guy that called the fair catch. I think his teammate back there did. So now Penn State, all they've got to do is take a knee, and they'll have the start they wanted, 1-0 on the season. As Gary said, they hope to play 16 or whatever it takes.
I think the 1-0 was pretty much a given. I think even Nevada would say we want to just play a competitive football game. I think the big win is the growth and health of the football team.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It'll be first down.
You don't see that a lot, okay?
James just said snap the ball.
I know, you don't see a team up 35 with take a knee play not being confused, basically, right?
Yep.
What are you doing? You could hear him say it. Get up there, snap it. The game's over.
I don't think you have to huddle for this either. Let's just go.
Just get up there and snap. Oh, maybe they're not doing that.
Oh, maybe not.
Same difference, right?
Pretty much.
Cam Wallace.
Well, coach fired up over there. About ready to win 46-11.
I think Druckenmiller said the ref told me the clock was going to run. Yeah, he's going to the referee right now saying you gave our quarterback the wrong information.
I don't think that's the first time the officials have made a mistake today.
No, I heard
in my opinion.
I heard a little bull finish there,
Yep,
didn't
that
you?
was, yeah. At any rate, Penn State, number 2 in the country coming into this one. Will they be number 1 next week?
A good coach always has something to be mad about.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Or will it be Ohio State number 1 after their win over previously number 1 Texas? I guess we'll wait on that a little bit. We won't wait too much longer on Jenny Dell, though, because I think she's going to have the coach and Drew Aller. Jenny.
Coach, what were you just saying to the officials over there?
Well, they were holding us in the huddle, wouldn't allow us to snap the ball. The guy asked for them to wind the clock, and then they gave us the delay game. So just frustrating.
All right, but you won the game. The mantra here, 1-0 each week. You are now 1-0. What'd you learn about this team?
Yeah, these guys played their butts off. Obviously, we got a ton of guys reps today. We'd like to finish a little bit better, but the reps are going to be valuable for us moving forward.
How can a win like this set the tone for your season?
Yeah, it's a good step. It's step number 1. It's really nothing more than that. We got to learn from things we did well. We got to learn from the things we can do better.
Thank you so much, Coach. Drew, you have been praised for your growth as a leader. What did that look like on the field today?
Yeah, I think on the field, it's just, finishing drives off. I think that's one thing as an offense we could have done a little bit better today. We had a turnover inside the 20, had to settle for a field goal, and then King Mack had that great return. We had to settle for a field goal. So it's just going to be cleaning up little stuff. I think, other than me, we have a great group of leaders that, when things didn't go right, we did a good job of flushing and trying to make up for it. But, just a couple of self-inflicted wounds from us.
You completed nearly 85% of your passes. How valuable is a start like this when you're really trying to build something special this year?
Yeah, very valuable. I think we did a great job of getting a lot of guys involved in the game plan, like Hud and T-Pain had a great job of having an impact on the game today. We're going to get other guys involved too, like Nick and Fat did a great job in the run and pass game today, and O-line had a really strong day too.
Their receiver play has something that's been a storyline since last year. What do you think of your new guys?
They did a really good job today. Not only in the pass game, we saw HUD show up in the pass game a lot. Same with Treb. They did a great job in the run game, like the outside zone, Nick's touchdown. We had Treb and D. Ross and just blocking their tail off to allow Nick just to walk in. So it's a really fun group. They're all about ball, so I'm really excited about it.
Congrats on a great start.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And Drew Aller wins his 24th game as a starting quarterback for the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Now it's time for our plays of the game, presented by Jersey Mike Subs. And we say plays because we're going to put a little package together of number 33. Chime in, Gary, with me.
Yeah.
This is hard to explain sometimes.
Well, these are fun looking at them from up here. But from being the quarterback, I can remember it's not so fun. Those guys coming in fast at you like that.
Deni Dennis Sutton was a monster today defensively for Penn State. There was no denying him, and there wasn't much the offense could do with him. He had a sensational game, and it sets him up for what should be a sensational season. And coach is saying, you weren't bad today. You got to work on a few things, but, we'll work on that starting on Monday. That's going to do it. As the star of the game defensively, a big smile and a 46-11 final. That's going to wrap it up. For Gary Danielson, Jenny Dale, Gene Steratore, our entire CBS crew, Brad Nessler, saying so long from Happy Valley. Final score, number 2 Penn State 46, Nevada 11. Tonight on CBS begins with FBI, followed by back-to-back editions of 48 Hours. We're going to send you back Over to Adam Zucker and company for the U.S. Army postgame show right after these messages. We'll see you next week in Eugene, Oregon. It's the Ducks against the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Until then, a happy day, a happy Saturday from Happy Vet.